Couture continues to pummel away at Vitor Belfort. Couture has landed a bunch of punches to the face of Vitor.
I learned a lesson when I fought Randy. Randy taught me a lesson. Sometimes in life, when you lose, you get more than a win, because in the future, you learn with the losses.
The fact that I beat him before when he was the Phenom and pretty much tearing everybody up is one hurdle that he's got to get over.
Anyone could have beat me that night, because I wasn't there.
It's a new day. Vitor is a very explosive, very good fighter. You know, he wants what I have. He wants that belt, and it's up to me to keep it.
To be a fighter, you gotta be simple, you gotta be humble, you gotta be focused, you gotta have determination, you gotta have the dedication, you gotta have will.
He's a different person than he was back then, and I think that makes him more dangerous.
Now, I'm here, I'm back.
When the right Vitor shows up, he's hell on wheels.
And this is gonna be a great fight.
If I don't come with my A game, ready to go, and take this very seriously, it's gonna be a bad night for me.
I don't know where BJ's coming with thinking that he can beat me.
I will win this fight. I know what I have to do to win this fight.
This kid never should have moved up, and he was crazy for doing it in the first place.
I know what I can do. I mean, I can hurt somebody in 5 seconds. I could hurt you real bad, or I could fight you for 25 minutes, and when I feel like now's the time, you're gonna be put away, I'll put you away right there.
I don't think he has the idea or really knows how much weight and strength I can put on him, and that's gonna be his downfall.
He's never felt somebody that punches like me.
Pain.
I'm trying to disgrace you. Come on, let me see what you got.
From his face, from his body.
I'm gonna try to put him away every single chance I get.
But he just doesn't realize that I'm stronger than anybody he's faced before.
I'm not gonna back down from him. I'm not scared of him. I'm faster than he is. I'm probably just as strong as he is.
I can see putting BJ in a corner and working him over.
Within those 5 rounds, Matt Hughes has to go down, and he has to go down hard for me to walk out with that belt.
After that first round, he'll walk back to his corner and he'll know he made a mistake.
Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. You are looking live at the Mandalay Bay Resort, all lit up and ready to host UFC 46 Supernatural. We are rocking inside the Mandalay Bay Event Center. UFC 46 brought to you by Miller Lite. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg. Welcome to our first ever Saturday of mixed martial arts action here in the world-famous Ultimate Fighting Championship. Tonight, 2 of the most decorated champions in UFC history go up against 2 men who many of us believe should have been world champions a long time ago. In the welterweight division, it will be potentially his 6th title defense. Matt Hughes, so dangerous, so dominant, that we had to bring somebody up from a lesser weight. BJ Penn thinking about a chance to win tonight. And then light heavyweight championship, they meet 6 years later. The Natural, Randy Couture against the Phenom, Vitor Belfort. Heavy heart right now for Vitor. His sister is missing in Brazil. Lots of emotions going into this fight. So the question is, how will Vitor Belfort perform against the Natural, Randy Couture, knowing that thousands of miles away, things are unsettled?
I think the only reason I'm here because God didn't want me to be here. He gave me the strength to be here, and I know His will is my will. He wants me here, I'm here, I'm ready. If He wouldn't want me here, I wouldn't be here. So my strength is coming from God right now. And the meaning, like I said, the meaning of winning used to mean a lot to me, but after that I had this problem with my sister, doesn't mean without her, it's painful.
My partner is always Joe Rogan, obviously a very emotional Vitor Belfort. How can he focus tonight inside the Octagon?
Vitor's obviously very broken up about his sister, but he's a very emotional guy, and I believe that emotion is his strength. When you call back on Buster Douglas when he fought Mike Tyson in Tokyo after his mother was killed, or his mother died rather, that he came alive because of that and put on the performance of his life. Can Vitor summon up that same kind of performance against Randy Couture? If he can, this might actually help him in some way. He's so emotional, and he's such a charged up guy that might actually benefit him in this fight against Randy Couture.
Still the Natural, also Captain America. Randy the Natural Couture, 40 years old, a man we all look up to.
How do you not look up to Randy Couture? I mean, incredibly dominant performances against two guys who everyone was afraid of in the 205-pound division. Dominating Chuck Liddell, standing up and taking him down and pounding him out to a TKO, and then completely dominating Tito Ortiz in every aspect. You go back to the first meeting of these guys met 6 years ago. Randy dominated and overwhelmed Vitor Belfort, took him into deep water and drowned him. And that's exactly what he wants to do tonight.
How about Vitor Belfort? We have seen him so impressive against Wanderlei Silva, against Marvin Eastman, and then we have seen him lull us, if you will, in a fight like the one against Chuck Liddell.
Well, you know what? The performances of Vitor Belfort, all of his losses have been when he hasn't had enough time to prepare. He lost against Sakuraba. He came 2 weeks after knee surgery. He took the Chuck Liddell fight on 3 weeks' notice. He's taken fights with very little notice and done poorly. He's a very emotional guy, and he has to be right. His mind has to be right. He is totally prepared physically for this fight. Is he prepared mentally? With all this drama going on with his sister, how is this going to affect him? We're going to find out.
As you have found out, don't mess with me anymore. See what happens?
Yeah, this was, he got me with a knee and then an elbow.
Yeah, you know, the knee was obviously better.
That was a hopscotch game gone wrong. He's taking credit for it.
Absolutely, because it wasn't really me against his skills. Joe, I'll tell you, the rest of the card equally as impressive. Phenomenal card, including the hard-hitting Brit, Lee Murray. Extremely confident in his knockout power. Jorge Rivera, 100% Puerto Rican will be his opponent. And Rivera is certainly sporting a high degree of dangerous middleweight matchup tonight. Heavyweight rematch, grudge match, call it what you will. 6'10", Wes Sims against the cerebral and calm Frank Mir. Mir not beyond sending a message. Sims has changed his look, but he has certainly not changed his attitude. It will be a very interesting evening indeed here on a Super Saturday, Super Bowl weekend, a great buzz here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center. My good buddy is back with us as always, Danny Sheridan, the odds maker at USA Today. Danny, thank you for being with us. How do you see the card tonight?
Well, you've been my lucky charm. You know, I haven't lost the last 2 bouts. I'll probably put the kiss of death on myself, but definitely Frank Mir, revenge bout. I got to go with Frank. Gentleman, Matt Hughes. Matt is an absolute fighting machine, as you know. BJ stepping up in weight. When he steps up in weight, I don't think he can handle him. And I think the first time he gets hit, he's going to say to himself, what in the world am I doing here? There are the odds right there. We got Randy at 2-1, Matt at 3-1. I like Matt. I like Mir at 9-5. In the main event, Randy Couture. You know I picked Randy to beat Tito. I'm going with the underdog. I like Vitor in this fight. Randy's 40 years old. And I just think, I know he's had a tragedy to overcome. I just think Vitor is going to win tonight and upset him. We'll see if you're my lucky charm tonight.
It will be interesting to see despite the odds. How about the odds inside here in Las Vegas? Mandalay Bay odds. Randy Couture is the favorite. Matt Hughes as well. Wes Sims and Frank Mir. No one giving too much love to Wes Sims in that heavyweight matchup. Now, speaking of matchups, someone just told me there's some type of sports event going on tomorrow in Houston, Texas. Can you help us out with that one?
Probably can. I have to turn to Joey Bagels and Spiro. They help me a lot in these matches and you. But I like the over a lot, and the Mandalay Bay has some great proposition bets. The only one that I like is a team will score 3 times in a row, unanswered consecutive scores. I like that. Love the over 38. The game is very tough. I have no opinion on the game right now at -7.
All right, at -7, New England and Carolina. Danny, always a pleasure to see you, partner.
Knock him out, Goldberg.
All right, enjoy tonight. Enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday as we get set for a Super Saturday of mixed martial arts action from right here throughout the Buzz in Las Vegas, Nevada. Once again, our ways to win inside the Octagon. 3 judges will score the bout. The bout duration, 3 5-minute rounds, or our 2 championship fights could go 5 5-minute rounds. A 10-point must system is in place, with the round winner gaining 10 points, his opponent 9 or less, based on effective striking, grappling, aggression, and Octagon control.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are live from the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino Event Center in Las Vegas, Nevada. Tonight, Zuffa presents UFC 46 Supernatural, a night of action where the greatest mixed martial arts warriors in the world will all compete in the world's ultimate proving ground, the Octagon. Tonight's event is sponsored by Miller Lite, great taste, less filling Miller beer, good call. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions of UFC fans watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to begin the Ultimate Fighting Championship!
We get it started with the middleweights here tonight. Lee Murray, the battling Brit, featuring no shortage of power, no lack of confidence against the fearsome Puerto Rican Jorge Rivera, gaining respect in his UFC debut. Brit Lightning Lee Murray makes his UFC debut as he brings in a reputation as one of the hardest one-punch hitters in the sport. In July, he had a breakthrough win, knocking out highly regarded Pele Landy Johns in England. Murray is somewhat of a folk hero in England, and hardcore mixed martial arts fans have greatly anticipated his UFC debut.
And everyone loves knockouts, and that's what I bring to the table all the time: excitement and knockouts. And that's, if I win by submission, I don't feel happy. I come out the ring and I'm not a happy guy if I win by submission. I think I ain't done my job. I like to win by the knockout.
Jorge El Conquistador Rivera impressed UFC fans with his defeat of Canadian mixed martial arts champion David Loiseau at UFC 44. Even though he suffered a couple of nasty cuts in the fight, he never stopped coming forward and taking it to Loiseau. Rivera lived up to his reputation as a fearless, tough-as-nails slugger, and now looks to prove that he is one of the best middleweights in the world.
I'm thinking I'm gonna come into that ring and I'm all business. You know, all the talk you talk before that fight, that's all it is. It's just talk, man. When that cage closes, it's just you and I in that ring. And you and I are gonna fight. And if you're not ready and you're not ready to back up that shit you're talking, be ready, because I am.
Coming up next, Lightning Lee Murray versus Jorge El Conquistador Rivera. All right, let's get it over with. We will establish the story outside of China White, a club in London, England. After party, after brawl, Tito against Lee Murray. Lee Murray said, hey, you want to fight a street fighter? In a street fight, you're going to lose. So Lee Murray's kind of trying to work his way into the hearts of mixed martial arts fans and eventually to Tito, but he has a lot of work to do before that.
Absolutely. Lee Murray, the legend of Lee Murray was created that one night in London.
Yes, it was.
He supposedly, by most people that saw, beat up Tito Ortiz in a street fight. You know, supposedly there's some tape on it somewhere, but nobody knows for sure except the people that were really there. What we do know is that Lightning Lee Murray is a devastating striker. Nasty one-punch knockout, vicious right hand, and an angry, street-brawling guy. He said he's been fighting his whole life, and that this is what he's meant to do.
Brought up on the mean streets of London, England, he said, and I quote, "I have been in hundreds and hundreds of street fighters." And he said in his English accent, "Nobody will hit as hard as I do at 185.
We'll find out about that, because Jorge Rivera is no slouch. Lee Murray will absolutely be tested tonight.
Not surprisingly, his hero, one of them, Mike Tyson. And Murray knows he is always one punch away from victory. Knocked out Pele, now he wants to knock out tonight's opponent. And there is tonight's opponent, Jorge Rivera. Massachusetts native, but 100% Puerto Rican from his mother and father, proud of his heritage, his ethnic background, and knows that the people of Puerto Rico have a great fighting spirit. This is a big weekend for Jorge Rivera. Tonight he wants to win, and tomorrow he wants his New England Patriots to win in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. Jorge Rivera coming in with the gladiator headgear, the chainmail. I mean, that's his mentality. He is a warrior, and he comes to brawl. We saw him in his UFC debut. He fought David Loazo and showed excellent striking, excellent hands, and excellent composure. He took a lot of heavy elbows in that fight, got cut pretty bad, but wore David Loazo out to win a decision. It's a perfect guy for Lee Murray to fight. A guy who's going to stand right in front of him, and we're going to see what both these guys have tonight.
Well, Jorge is the better grappler, but ego is a crazy thing, especially in the fight game. And will his ego force him to try to go toe-to-toe with Lee Murray?
He loves to bang. You know, Jorge Rivera is a boxer at heart. He loves to throw fists. I don't know if Jorge's the better grappler. We're going to find out. He is well-rounded, but I've never seen Lee Murray fight, so we're going to find out tonight.
Tail of the tape brought to you by Miller Lite. 31 years old is Rivera, 5 years older than the Brit Lee Murray. Murray does have a 2-inch advantage in the reach, and an advantage he would like to utilize. He says, "You stand with me, you swim with the sharks. You might as well bring a pillow and a blanket. Only time will tell." Time now to bring in the veteran voice of the Octagon. Here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is 3 rounds in the UFC middleweight division. Introducing first, the fighter standing to my left. This man is a boxer and submission fighter. He holds a mixed martial arts record of 8 wins with 1 loss and 1 draw. Standing 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 182 pounds. Fighting out of London, England. Please welcome Lightning Lee Murray. And his opponent, standing to my right. This man is an expert mixed martial arts fighter who holds a mixed martial arts record of 7 wins with 1 loss. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 185 pounds. Fighting out of Milford, Massachusetts, please welcome Jorge El Conquistador Rivera!
Tito Ortiz, former light heavyweight champion in the house. And Tito, I think I know who he's rooting for.
You don't know. He might be rooting for Lee Murray to stay in the UFC so he can get another shot at him.
Great point. Mario Yamasaki, our referee, and our night is officially underway. Lee Murray in the white trunks. Rivera in the dark trunks.
Good. Rivera looking to shoot, it looks like.
Tito Ortiz in the house. Oh, my.
Rivera got a hold of him.
Oh, got the fist.
Rivera's got him. Got a body lock on him.
Rivera said nobody hits as hard as he does at 185. He also said it's hard to avoid getting hit for 15 minutes. So he knows he's going to have to endure some takedowns, as we see here.
There we go.
But sooner or later, he thinks he can impose his game.
Clearly his game is to take Lee Murray down.
Yes.
Not take any chances with the strikes.
Well, the amazing thing with Rivera is that there's really no flash. The former construction worker, laborers, local 609 in Framingham, Mass. Very workmanlike, just as he has been brought up.
Yeah, he's a very workmanlike, tough guy. You know, I mean, he slowly and methodically picked apart David Loazo and endured some rough moments.
Great
Lee
weekend.
Murray looking for an armbar. Look at this. He's got to hold the arm. He's got his legs over.
He doesn't
if he can
talk
straighten
much
out
about
his
that.
body. I don't know how well he's got Jorge's left arm secured. It's hard to tell here. But he's got to figure out a way to straighten him out or flip him over. He doesn't have... Well, it looks like he might have it here. It looks like he's transitioning to a triangle.
Don't forget UFC.tv, your website of choice.
He doesn't have it locked in. What Lee has to do is grab a hold of his, there he goes. He got a hold of his left foot and tucked it in tight. This is a bad spot.
Can he finish? And it's all over. It's all over. Lee Murray by submission.
Whoa. Well-rounded lightning Lee Murray shows he's got ground skills to go with those nasty hands. I'm almost upset. It was a beautiful submission, but I wanted to see this guy bang.
First round submission victory in his UFC debut.
I'm the man, he says.
And he didn't even have to hit him.
Amazing. He's got well-rounded skills. The plan for Lee Murray is he wants to fight a couple times at 185 pounds and then move up to 205 for the grudge match with Tito.
What the fuck was that?
Let's take a look at that triangle. Jorge Rivera got a little cocky on the ground and he left himself exposed. He got a hold of his arm, secured that foot, tucked it under his knee. He's got both a triangle and an arm bar. And it looks like Jorge taps from the arm bar. Bad spot for Jorge Rivera. Beautiful technique by Lee Murray.
And Tito Ortiz. Yep.
I want Lee Murray to win so I can kick his ass.
That's exactly what you said, Joe.
Yeah, he wants him to win. Like, Tito Ortiz is a warrior. He doesn't want that loss on his mind.
I want him to win so I can kick him. Oh, my. Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner at 1 minute 45 seconds of the very first round. For the winner by tap out due to an armbar from London, England, Lightning Lee
And it was with lightning speed that Lee Murray wins by armbar in the first round, defeating Jorge Rivera. The main event tonight in the light heavyweight division for the light heavyweight championship, 40-year-old Randy, the Natural Couture, Captain America, confident as he should be, arriving at 5:18 Pacific time, set to defend what is now his second belt against Vitor Belfort. Listen to the reaction of the fans watching the arrivals on the big screens here at the Mandalay Bay Event Center. Heavy-hearted, but also heavy-handed. Vitor, the Phenom Belfort. A victorious Lee Murray in the Octagon with Joe Rogan.
Lee Murray, congratulations and welcome to America. How's it feel?
It feels good, man. There was no one was going to get my way. I knew tonight was going to be my night. I've waited a long time for this. This is the day I've been waiting for. No one was getting to get in my way. First of all, I've got to thank all my trainers, Terry, Lexus, Paul, Marius, all the London Shoot Fighters team I'm watching, and Pro Boxing Gym, Mark Rowe, my main training partner, James Ikic, Julius Francis helped me a great deal with sparring for this fight, Mike Stewart, and all the guys at Chicago Airport.
All right, now, Lee, you're known for your striking, but you showed some well-rounded technique here, tapping him out with a triangle.
Well, I know at 185 at the moment, there ain't going to be a lot of 185 guys out there. They're going to stand with me. I banged so hard for my weight that they're just going to try to get me down.
Take a look at the triangle up there on the monitor. And then tapping him with the arm bar.
That's what I mean. A lot of the guys just think I'm just a banger. But I know I've got a good ground game as well. I don't get a chance to show it. My last fight against Pele, he got me down. He didn't control the fight. He kept me on the ground. He couldn't want no submissions. The second round, I got the knockout. The fight before that, I fought Mir Ranavadi. It lasted 4 seconds. I knocked him out.
Tell us your thoughts on your former street fighting opponent, Tito Ortiz.
Tito Ortiz? If he wants to fight me here, I'll fight anybody. I don't care who they are, what they've done, how many men they've knocked out. I couldn't give a shit. Who they are, I will fight them. I'm not scared of no man. I will give up weight. He can.
Congratulations, Lee Murray. Back to you, Mike. Oh, Tito standing up.
He may very well at some point get his opportunity. There he is, the former light heavyweight champion, Tito Ortiz.
And no matter what he says, it's always my name's always going to be in the back of his head. Until he gets in here, and tries to shut me up if that's what you think you can do.
I think Lee needs to go to the dining table right now, Joe, because Lee needs to gain some weight.
Sack his neck like the boys always do. But beat his ass and take him back to England.
Tito Ortiz, Lee Murray. Could that be something we see somewhere in the future? UFC 46 Supernatural is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Miller Beer, good call. By Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. Elegance and excitement on the Las Vegas Strip. Brought to you by TDK Media Active. Publishers of UFC Tap Out 2 on the Xbox video game system from Microsoft. Now on sale. By Nitro, the official sports supplement of the UFC. Found at nitro.tv. And by Tap Out Clothing Wear at inyourface.com. A sold-out Mandalay Bay Event Center tonight here in Las Vegas, Nevada. The first time we have had a UFC on a Saturday night, and another championship on the card tonight. Controlled force across the chest of our 5-time welterweight champion, Matt Hughes. So confident, so strong, so big, so dynamic. BJ Penn, very cerebral in his approach. In fact, when I spoke to BJ Penn this week, I was surprised when I asked him about his continued quest to win a belt, to win a world championship, which he dearly wanted for so many years and was unable to get. He said, you know what, Mike? Not anymore is it about that. It's about entertaining. It's about people like Chuck Norris here tonight, seeing me go against who is right now, Matt Hughes, the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world. So who will be the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world? We know one thing, that is one bad man, Chuck Norris. Speaking of men taking care of bad men, let's check in with Joe Rogan.
Thanks, Mike. I'm here with Don and Tony from Controlled Force. Guys, why don't you tell me a little bit, what is Controlled Force?
Controlled Force is a law enforcement training system that's being utilized by the federal law enforcement and military personnel across the country.
And why are you guys here at the UFC?
Controlled Force right now, what we're doing is we're looking for some of the best trainers around, and you guys have them. You guys have the best fighters. We're looking for a hybrid communication between law enforcement and the UFCs. If we keep going like this, seeing the fights we're out here today, I mean, come on, these guys are animals. They train every day in this stuff. Who better than to tap their resources and use them for law enforcement?
So you guys are using the techniques of mixed martial arts to save lives and to help law enforcement officers secure criminals and get them down and control them. And
it's all about research and development. We're here because the UFC's provide the greatest fighters and the greatest trainers the world has ever seen. And we're going to tap into those resources. If it saves one life, that's what it's all about.
Not only that, we got 3 of the guys right now. Pat Miletich, Matt Hughes, and Tony Fricklin. They're national instructors for us right now. They're going to Lackland to train with us.
Well, law enforcement has always used martial arts for training, and mixed martial arts have evolved martial arts now to the point where we know exactly what works and what doesn't, and what better place to utilize that than in law enforcement.
You got it, absolutely.
Well, I congratulate you guys. Good luck in your efforts. Thank you very much for being here.
All right.
Back to you, Mike.
Joe, thank you very much, and you can go right to the top as we get a look at a big-time celebrity, and I mean big, Michael Clark Duncan. Our world-famous referee, John McCarthy, 20 years as a tactical instructor with the Los Angeles Police Department. And that means that when Michael Clark Duncan goes to the streets of LA for a debut of one of his movies, he is safe because of the utilization of the world of martial arts in law enforcement. Heavyweight time. 6'10" powerhouse Wes Sims has waited 7 months for another chance. Frank Mir will attempt to take this opportunity to erase any doubts.
The rule states that you cannot stomp a downed opponent.
Sims can't kick a downed opponent. Cannot kick a downed opponent.
Bottom line was he didn't want to fight no more.
When I was stomping his face, I knew I got DQ'd. It was my fight to win. I should have dropped down and punched him.
I think he kind of went into panic mode. Just didn't want to be there anymore and just was, lost his cool.
Earlier in the fight, he gouged me in the eyes several times.
I didn't eye gouge anybody. I'm not really a dirty fighter.
So it just pissed me off.
Wes Sims is a very strong guy. He's got a hold of his arm. He's protecting himself. Might slam him. They slams him. He's got 3. That's what I'm talking about. What a job.
I take that very personally.
He doesn't want to get personal with me.
I'm going to try to go ahead and end his career physically. And then if he does manage to come back, he'll be a very humble person.
I don't want to think about Frank Mir no more. Saturday night, I'm going to put a conclusion to this.
I'm not going to do anything stupid, but within the realms of the UFC's rules, he'll get punished.
The last impression I left on Frank Mir was a size 16 up his face.
Coming up next, Wes the Project Sims versus Frank Mir. Wes the Project Sims. Kevin Randleman, Mark Coleman trained. This is a man who really wants to establish his own identity, and he has the physical tools, Joe, to do it.
Absolutely. He's training with the Hammer House and Kevin Randleman and Mark Coleman. And initially, it started off, he was a basketball player that wanted to learn how to fight. And they said, yeah, come on in. We'll teach you how to fight. And they just beat the crap out of him. But the guy just kept coming back for more. Kevin Randleman said the guy is just freakishly strong. And that expression is used a lot and maybe overused by me. But this guy is a giant. He's a gigantic man. His father's a giant. I bet his dad's this huge guy, as tall as him. And he's a very powerful guy who's training with some of the best wrestlers in mixed martial arts. He's got to be picking up a lot, and he's a relative novice to the game. As time goes on, he's going to be more and more dangerous. The 10 months or so since their last fight has only benefited Wes Sims.
Wes Sims has spent the last month here in Las Vegas training with former heavyweight champion Rico Rodriguez. The last fight between he and Frank Mir, June of 2003. 7 months ago, it was Sims' debut. It was a long night in the hospital for Frank Mir. Wes Sims is ready to compete. Look at how cerebral and calm Frank Mir of Las Vegas, Nevada is. He said he wants to erase any doubts. This is not personal, but he won't be disappointed if he's able to inflict just a teeny bit of pain.
Frank Mir is a jiu-jitsu man. He's a heavyweight that moves like a lightweight. There's a lot of guys, and they're big guys especially, they don't rely on technique, they rely on strength. They overpower their opponents, they just get bigger and stronger. Frank Mir submits guys with beautiful technique. He made his UFC debut submitting Roberto Traven, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, with a brutal armbar, snapping his arm. He submitted Pete Williams, submitted Tank Abbott. Looked like he was on the road to the heavyweight championship till he ran into the very tough Ian Freeman and got battered. He's learned from that, came back, fought Wes Sims and got stumped. So he's learned from that too. He's learned that he wants to get another piece of Wes Sims. So here he is tonight to revenge that disqualification.
When he was asked, am I pissed? He said it would be counterproductive to my style. Let's see what style he has tonight. Tail of the tape brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling, good beer. Great call. 24 years older, each of these athletes, a definitive reach advantage, but he is lighter. Wes Sims is 6'10". We've waited for this one. Frank Mir wants it, Wes Sims wants it. Bruce Buffer will get it started.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout is 3 rounds in the UFC heavyweight division. Introducing first, the fighter standing to my left. This man is a freestyle fighting expert who holds a mixed martial arts record of 6 wins with 2 losses. Standing 6 feet 10 inches tall, weighing in at 238 pounds. Fighting out of Lancaster, Ohio, please welcome the Project Wes Sims! And his opponent, standing to my right, this man is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighting expert who holds a mixed martial arts record of 6 wins with 1 loss. Standing 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 249 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, please welcome Frank
Frank Mir still has pictures of himself after the brutal beating he took at the hands of Ian Freeman. He uses it for motivation. No more motivation to feel safe in the octagon than to have Big John McCarthy as our referee. Sims like a caged animal. The cerebral and unimpressed Frank Mir.
You ready? Let's get on!
And here we go.
Look at Sims sticking his tongue out.
Yeah, they're not going to touch gloves here. Oh, Mir wanted to throw the elbow in tight quarters. And a big takedown early.
Nice takedown.
Frank Mir wanting to work his ground wizardry.
Yeah, Mir believes he's technically far superior than Wes Sims. He thinks Wes Sims might be strong and he might be working out with wrestlers. Mount. He is, like I said, he uses small man jiu-jitsu. He's a giant 250-pound guy who uses small man jiu-jitsu. Beautiful technique.
Well, as you said, Sims is freakishly strong. Will that be enough, though, from a full mount position?
Frank Mir is a very intelligent guy, very eloquent, very articulate about his thoughts on fighting and the philosophy that goes behind it. And he thinks things out very well. He said he doesn't get pissed, as you said before, because that would mess with what he does. You know, he wants to go in there as a technician, as a warrior. Oh, he's rolling.
I finally pried it out of him, though. I said, let's say you've got a submission on Sims and he doesn't tap right away. Would you like to twist it a little bit? He goes, all right, I'll give you at least that. Yes, if he does not tap, I would like to send a message.
Oh, he's got an arm. Let's see if
he can finish it. There's that arm we talked about. Sims trying to spin out of it.
Mir's just totally controlling him here.
As he did in the first fight, Joe.
He did in the first fight until he got a little sloppy and let him stand up, and that's when he got stomped. Let's hope that doesn't happen again.
Yes, and then as Mir said, he thinks Sims went into panic mode. He was getting his derriere bounced around a little bit, and he came back with an emotional response.
Perhaps, I think Sims is just a wild man. You know, I think he just got angry, and he just wanted to stomp him. He probably didn't even think. He just did it. He's rolling him over. He's got his back. Very bad spot. Very bad spot for Wes Sims here. He's flattened him out. Look to punch and take the rear naked choke now.
Frank Mir trying to make quick work of Wes Sims here in the rematch.
Mir's taking some shots there. He manages to get out of that bad spot, but now he's mounted still. Still bad.
Mir really pushing the pace here in round 1.
Mir's showing beautiful jiu-jitsu and beautiful control. Nice elbow. He's got an arm again. Let it go.
You think this is good tonight? How about when we return in April? Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, April 2nd, UFC 47. It's on. What's on if you haven't heard yet? We will share the news with you, and it's great news in just a moment. UFC 47, it's on.
Oh, looking for an arm triangle. He secured an arm. He's got an arm triangle. Very similar to the way Chemo tapped out Tank Abbott. Now Wes Sims is gonna push on that arm. He's gonna grab a hold of his fist and push that elbow into Frank Mir's neck to try to get some space, or he's gonna go unconscious. He might be out.
Mir knows he has it. McCarthy right on top of the action.
Look at that! Wes Sims sticks his thumb out.
Saying he's fine.
If Mir wants to really finish this off, what he wants to do is get on the side. He wants to get on Wes Sims' right arm side. Switch his body over to the side to get optimum leverage, but he's lost it now.
Well, there was no doubt in the mind of McCarthy if Sims was okay there when he gets the thumbs up. Nice job done by Wes Sims.
That's the same position that Tank Abbott tapped out to, but obviously Wes Sims is a little more educated on the ground than Tank. Either that or just Frank Mir's not as good at finishing as Kimo.
But still, he is the dominant fighter here in round 1. 120 remains.
Come on, work it out.
Mike Goldberg, Joe Rogan, sold out. Super Bowl Saturday here at the Mandalay Bay Resort in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. UFC 46 Supernatural.
Every jiu-jitsu guy has his technique that he's just deadly in, and that might not be Frank Mir's technique.
Who's bloodied up, Joe? I see blood on the face of Mir, but it's a cut that's over the eye of Wes Sims.
Frank Mir's nose is bleeding.
It is, so both are bleeding then.
I don't remember Wes Sims landing anything significant, so it might be a pre-existing injury, or he might just bleed easy. Wes Sims can't do anything here.
As you came forth with a pre-existing injury tonight.
Hopscotch, told you. Those girls play rough.
Mir, dominant fighter here in round 1. A great job done defensively by Wes Sims.
Well, Wes Sims is surviving, but he's not doing anything to get out of this position.
Big elbow by Mir. And now a left.
Come on, let's go.
Final seconds of round number 1.
Completely dominant performance by Frank Mir. Wes Sims just looks like he doesn't belong in there with him right now. Oh, he's cut up bad.
Oh, my goodness.
Man. Oh, he's wobbled, too.
Mark the Hammer Coleman. Rico Rodriguez, our cut man Leon Tabs, and Frank Mir so methodical in round 1.
All right, we're going to go to the replay now and take a look at Frank Mir's attempted arm triangle, Wes Sims. He had it locked in, but in the mount, that's not the best place to finish this. The best place is if he shifted his right leg over the top and got onto Wes Sims' right side and really pushed leverage down with his right knee down on his stomach. You see Wes Sims got the thumbs up, he's fine. He can breathe there. If anything, Wes Sims is an incredibly tough guy.
A message being delivered, somewhat saying, I'm just fine. Mir is up and ready.
He's got a bad cut over his left eye, it looks like.
Look at the reaction and the emotion of Wes Sims. He is a caged animal.
They're definitely a contrast in styles.
Yes, indeed. Here we go. Round 2. How wobbled is he from round 1, I wonder, though.
Nice leg kick and takedown. Oh, Wes Sims got on top there. And Frank Mir wastes no time reversing him.
Nice job done by Mir, and the hometown crowd for the hometown kid shows their appreciation of Mir's talent.
Let's see if Wes Sims has any submissions from his back here.
Close guard now instead of the full mount in which Mir possessed for the greater part of round number 1.
He's very loose guard here.
Work it out, let's go. Let's go.
Mark Coleman, let's go. Do you want this or not? Shouted out from his corner.
Work, come on, work.
And as you said, he was punished and punished again by Randleman and Coleman, who said, all right, big boy, you want to learn about this? And then he earned their respect.
They call him the Project, and he's a relative novice to mixed martial arts.
Hook and shoot, absolute fighting championship winner, Southeastern heavyweight champion, formerly Mir, prior to his UFC career, a standout in hook and shoot as well.
Come on, let's get it up. Let's get it up, don't just lay there.
You're just laying here and we stand up. Advantage, Sims. Sims looks very arm-weary at this point, though, Joe.
Mir's got to lock him. He's going to press him against the fence, and I bet he's probably looking to toss him. Nope, got a hold of a leg. He's going to try to suck his legs out and drag him down to the ground. Mir looks a little weary as well.
Yes, he does. And the question always is with Frank Mir, if he can't finish quickly, does conditioning become a factor?
Well, it certainly did in his one loss against Ian Freeman, but a lot of damage played a factor in that too. He hasn't taken any damage in this fight.
That's a great point. Plus, I think he trains with a much different discipline, self-admittedly, than he did prior to the fight against Ian Freeman in London.
Well, great fighters learn from their losses and come back even better.
Frank knows, he's always said it's a destination, not the journey. Success will test a man's mettle as surely as any opponent. It backfired, but now he is firing back and trying to win his 3rd consecutive UFC competition.
And he's a young guy. He's got a long road ahead of him. He's 24 years old.
You know what? The word toughness right here with Wes Sims. Not technical, but he has a toughness.
He's an animal.
He is displaying
He's definitely
that right
tough,
now.
but this is not a good position for Frank Mir. He's just holding on, letting him, I guess he's biding his time, trying to catch his breath. Frank Mir looks very weary here. He doesn't look like he's got a lot of snap or explosiveness on his strikes, and he doesn't look like he's making any attempt whatsoever to pass Wes Sims' guard. If Frank Mir wants to win this fight, he's got to figure out a way to get out of Wes Sims' guard. These little pity punches in here aren't going to stop it.
Watch your hand, let's go.
90 seconds remains here in round 2 as we adjust the clock for you. 90 seconds now less. Now 1:15 remaining in round 2. Good elbow by Frank Mir and another, smothering the breathing pattern of 6'10", 250-pound Wes Sims. And John McCarthy stands him up again.
Frank Mir looks very, very weary right here. He looked up at the big screen to see if he could see the time. That's a bad sign.
There's about a minute left in the round.
Those
Sims.
leg kicks have nothing on them.
Oh, and a high knee. Oh, and an elbow. And a left, and down goes Sims.
That's
and
it.
it is all over. It is all over. Frank Mir has knocked out Wes Sims.
Pulls it out. Look at him. He's so tired he can barely stand. Pulls it out with a big knockout.
They are on their feet here at a sold-out Mandalay Bay Event Center. Frank Mir scores the knockout.
Wow, look at him. They have to support Frank Mir. Let's take a look at that right knee that caused it first. Let's take a look at that right knee that wobbled him first. Let's go to the replay.
Congratulations. Beautiful, baby. Great job, brother.
All right, here's the right knee that first wobbled him. There's another one. And then boom, the right hand that put him away. And then a left hook. Big John McCarthy doing a good job of stopping it before any more damage. Let's take another look at it. First knee, boom, on the chin. Second knee, again. Right hand, and then left hook as he's going away. Frank Mir pulling it out, so weary he can barely stand.
Listen
Let's
to
take
this
another
crowd
look at the
tonight.
knockout punch right here. Boom! Sweet revenge for Frank Mir. You're talking about a guy who just pulled it out with heart. He had nothing left in the tank.
What a likable young man. And you know what? He got his wish. Although it wasn't his game plan nor his style, he got his wish. He was able to send a message.
He's got the beautiful technique. All he's lacking is in conditioning. And you got to wonder, I mean, does he have guys Wes Sims size to work with him?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Kevin Randleman went right up to Frank Mir and congratulated him. And a good show of class here by Wes Sims and Frank Mir. You think this is any good? How about the way our night has started? BJ Penn and Matt Hughes. Forthcoming. Congratulations goes to Frank Mir. Here's Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Big John McCarthy has called a stop to this bout at 4 minutes, 21 seconds of the second round. For the winner by TKO, Frank Mir!
Frank Mir, cerebral and very dynamic tonight. Frank Mir is with Joe Rogan
Frank, congratulations. How do you feel?
I'd like to thank Sprawl, Outcast for everything they did for me. Ooh, that's a big, tough motherfucker, man.
How tired were you before you scored that knockout?
I was fatigued. You know, I've never seen anybody fight so hard in a bad position. It's a little bit hard to work with a guy like that. But I knew losing hurts a lot worse. So I wasn't about to put it down until I was out.
Did you ever get frustrated? You almost had him in submission several times.
I don't know what he is, man. Can't submit him, but worked a lot of stand-up. Hey, man, I'd just like to thank everybody out here for supporting me, trying to represent Vegas. Everybody out here I think I got the best fan base in all the UFC. It's so inspiring to fight in front of everybody here. I love you all, man. Thank you.
Well, congratulations on your revenge, congratulations on your victory, and good luck to the future.
Thank you.
It finishes in dynamic fashion. Frank Mir by knockout. The first time he has knocked out a UFC opponent. Frank Mir is 5-1 in the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Coming up next for the welterweight belt. If he defends tonight, it will be the 6th time. Matt Hughes, and if he does defend for the 6th time, it will be a UFC record. Matt Hughes, pound for pound, undeniably the greatest fighter in the world. BJ Penn, pound for pound, believes he has a shot. Just scrap, BJ. Forget about the belt. Think about Matt Hughes, is what he said was his approach to this big night tonight, and what a night it has been. And then in April, we will be right back here for UFC 47. It is on. Tito, not thinking about Lee Murray.
The friendship is finished.
We were friends and we had a pact, and we were never gonna fight.
There was never any agreement not to fight.
The respect is gone.
I'm gonna literally try to hurt Chuck. I don't care if I win, I don't care if I lose, I'm just gonna try to hurt him.
He's afraid to get hit, and I'm gonna hit him. He knows that.
Their careers are at stake.
It's time for me to show what I'm made of.
It's a long way away from getting another shot at this title if I lose this fight.
Finally, the most anticipated fight in UFC history is on. The Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz, and the Iceman, Chuck Liddell, go to war in a battle for their professional lives. Who will survive? It's on.
This fight is way overdue.
This fight's been coming for a long time.
I'm gonna try to do what I get paid for, and just beat people down.
I want to shut him up.
And get my title back. That's all I care about.
I'm winning by knockout. That's how this fight's ending.
Let the beatings begin.
The Ultimate Fighting Championship presents UFC 47, Friday, April 2nd, live on pay-per-view.
Oh my goodness, I have chills. Start counting the days. The light heavyweight clash will happen. Tito will face off against Chuck. Also on the card at UFC 47, Andre the Pitbull Orlovsky versus Tim the Maniac Sylvia for the UFC World Heavyweight Championship.
That's a very, very dangerous man for anybody who wants to fight in the heavyweight division.
Nearly had an arm, still might have that opportunity. There it is.
There's a tap.
Oh, how quick was
it's
that?
over. The Sambo Master is able to submit his opponent. Oh, big right hand, and he's trying to...
He's rocked. His legs are wobbly.
They're blocked. Oh, and he did with a right.
Oh, big right hand. And now you shake goes hurt.
Orlovsky just wants a tee on the toes, baby. Straight kick.
Vladdy is definitely... Oh, he's out.
He goes, and it is all over.
Sylvia just has to get on his tiptoes to knee as a
Oh, he faked that one very nicely. Sylvia trying to finish it here in round one. Looking for the arm. Oh, my. That's a good way to get out of it. Got a big right in. And he's trying to finish it. It's all over. And it's all over. We have a new heavyweight champion. It is Tim Sylvia.
Big right hand. Big right hand. That's what I'm talking about. He's rocked. Oh, he's out. He's out. He's out.
It is all over. Tim Sylvia.
That's what I was talking about.
And does it
Oh, he's
quickly.
out bad. He's still out.
And whoever's the first guy in the ring with me is in trouble. You know, I pity that. I feel sorry for Orlovsky because I have a lot of anger, I have a lot of emotion built up, and I'm taking it out on the first guy that steps in front of me. And unfortunately for Orlovsky, it's going to be him.
Who will leave with the belt for the UFC World Heavyweight Championship April 2nd? Sylvia against Orlovsky. Tickets on sale. The event will be right here at the Mandalay Bay. Tickets are on sale right now. It's live on pay-per-view. It is on. Tito and Chuck, Sylvia and Orlovsky for the heavyweight championship. Mandalay Bay Resort, Las Vegas, Nevada. April 2nd. Get your tickets now.
Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell finally getting together. April 2nd, what a night that's going to be. And Andre Orlovsky versus Tim Sylvia, two of, I think, the best guys in the heavyweight division in all of mixed martial arts, duking it out. What a fantastic card.
We have a fight that at one point would have been for a belt, but doesn't need to be for a belt anymore. So much more for Tito and Chuck, Orlovsky and Sylvia for the World UFC Heavyweight Championship. Speaking of belts, welterweight title is on the line. BJ Penn moving up a weight class to try to battle the supremacy, which is multiple champion Matt Hughes.
I'm the one making this fight. You know, I'm the one got everybody excited that this fight's gonna happen.
He wants a belt so bad that he can't sleep at night. You know, the mistake he's made is he's picked my belt to go after.
I know I'm the best fighter in the 155-pound division.
A 150-pound guy that couldn't even win his weight division.
I'm going up in weight to fight Hughes. I mean, he can take it as he wants to.
It's somewhat disrespectful to move up into somebody else's weight class when you're a lighter weight.
I never went real far in wrestling in college, so I don't know how disrespectful it is.
You know, if I beat him, make an example out of him, then it won't happen again.
Would they really want to watch Matt Hughes fight again if he wasn't fighting me?
Running's running, but if you go out there and you survive the elements and you train, then mentally you're tough.
I know I'm tough. It's not something I have to do.
The easy man will go somewhere where it's warm and step outside and put a pair of shorts on and run around with no shirt on.
I could go out and train in the snow up in the mountain. No, I'm not an idiot. If I was going in cocky, you wouldn't see me running around the volcano. You wouldn't see me doing push-ups in the sand. You wouldn't see me jump off 60, 70-foot waterfalls.
I don't care what BJ's doing. I don't care where he's running. I don't care how he's training. The only thing that can beat me is me. I just don't see him having the power to knock me out or the strength to submit me.
I know I have to beat Matt Hughes, and I have to beat him bad.
It'd be embarrassing to lose to a lighter guy.
I don't even know why he's thinking about that. What he should really be worried about is what I'm gonna do to him.
After that first round, he'll walk back to his corner and he'll know he made a mistake.
Let's go, here we are. Let's go, me and you.
I will break him the first round, no doubt about it.
Here's the latest on BJ Penn. He impressed Randy Couture and Matt Lindland to no end when he went up there and he rolled and trained with Team Quest. They thought they were going to throw him around, and they were very, very truly impressed. Randy went on to say, at first he thought Big Mitch match, not so much anymore.
Well, you know what? Training and fighting are two totally different things, but he did impress Randy Couture. Supposedly, rumor has it he actually tapped Randy Couture, and Randy had a really hard time keeping him on his back. BJ's an incredibly talented jiu-jitsu guy, the first American to ever win a world championship in Brazil. He's got incredible flexibility, and he's got vicious knockout power. Here's the question. Does that power stay with him as he moves up to a higher weight class and fights the strongest, most dominant guy ever at 170 pounds, who's not even really 170 pounds? Matt Hughes comes down. Rumor has it at Sunday he was 193, and he drops weight in a way only he knows how to get down to 170.
Look in the eyes of BJ Penn, the determination. When I asked him the other day the obvious question, how about the strength differential? He said, Mike, look in my eyes, see if there is anybody in there who cares.
You know what, he might not care, but whether he cares or not, it's not going to matter if he's getting molested against the fence.
We will soon find out.
Wake him up! Wake him up!
country boy from the farm. Won't make the mistake of saying he grew up pounding his brother on the farm anymore. I guess I just did. And in this month's forthcoming edition of Men's Journal magazine, Brett Favre is named the first of 25 toughest guys in America. Matt Hughes, number 3. You don't tell me the mixed martial arts world and the UFC haven't arrived.
Well, without a doubt, Matt Hughes is one of the toughest guys in America. Matt Hughes is an incredibly strong guy, genetic freak of nature. Everybody who trains with him says they just go, I thought I knew what a strong guy felt like until I rolled with Matt Hughes. He's with the, in my opinion, the best mixed martial arts camp in the world. Military fighting systems. Those guys are animals. They train in everything. Jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, wrestling. Well-rounded. They live in the middle of Iowa where there's nothing to do but train. All those guys do every day, go to the gym, beat the crap out of each other, eat and sleep. And Matt Hughes is the best guy over there. BJ Penn has bitten a big bite. Let's see if he can chew it and swallow it.
Well, he said, and I quote, I like being the underdog. This means everything. It's about competing against the best, and that motivates me. And undeniably, pound for pound, Matt Hughes is the best.
Matt Hughes is the most dominant guy we've ever had at 170 pounds. He's battered Carlos Newton, destroyed Frank Trigg, beat up Sean Sherk. He's a stud.
Tail of the tape for the welterweight championship here tonight at Mandalay Bay. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Matt Hughes is 5 pounds heavier. Those are official weigh-in weights. Forget about it. BJ might be 170 or 171 tonight. As you mentioned, Matt Hughes may have packed on 15 pounds of power. Welterweight title on the line. Official introductions. Veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this UFC championship bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission with commissioners Dr. Tony Alamo, Skip Avancino, Joe Brown, and Dr. Flip Homansky, Executive Director Mark Ratner, and Chairman John Bailey. Our judges at Octagon side are Darby Shirley, Abe Bellardo, and Glenn Trowbridge. Our doctor at Octagon side is Dr. Margaret Goodman, and our referee in charge of the action is Mario Yamasaki. Our sponsor for this championship bout is Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling Miller beer. Good call. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the first championship bout of the evening. This fight is 5 rounds for the UFC welterweight championship of the world. Introducing first, the fighter standing to my left. This man needs no introduction as he is the #1 fighter in the world today at 155 pounds. And tonight, he moves up in weight to be the challenger for the UFC welterweight championship title. He is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighting expert who holds a mixed martial arts record of 7 wins and 1 loss with 1 draw. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 169 pounds, fighting out of Wainaku, Hilo, Hawaii. Please welcome BJ Penn! And now, introducing the champion standing to my right. This man is a wrestler and an expert in the military fighting systems. He holds a professional mixed martial arts record of 36 wins with 3 losses. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 170 pounds, fighting out of Hillsboro, Illinois. And tonight, he enters the Octagon to defend his UFC championship title for the 6th consecutive time. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the 5-time defending UFC welterweight champion of the world, Matt Hughes.
Electrifying atmosphere here tonight at Mandalay Bay. Hughes trying to set a UFC record with a 6th title defense. BJ Penn against the fence now, up against Matt Hughes momentarily. What a matchup we have for the welterweight championship. BJ Penn and Matt Hughes. And the third member of our broadcast team, we welcome in Eddie Bravo.
Thanks, Mike. You really have to admire BJ Penn in this fight. He practically begged Joe Silva, the UFC matchmaker, to put this one together. It's tough enough moving up in weight and battling people, but to challenge Matt Hughes for his belt without taking any tune-up fights is truly courageous. Mike?
Eddie, thank you very much. Eddie will be scoring the fight for us. He is Octagon side. We will check in with him after each round. Mario Yamasaki, our referee.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's go!
We're going to find out right now if it's courageous or foolhardy.
Absolutely. Oh, a quick left jab from Matt Hughes.
And a counter left hook from BJ. Knee inside by BJ.
We've seen BJ striking before. How about the quick finish to Carl Uno? BJ is slippery.
BJ, in my opinion, is a superior striker. Whether or not that'll carry at 175 pounds, we'll find out. But BJ knocks a lot of guys out standing up. Brutal knockout of Dean Thomas. Brutal knockout of Carl Uno. He's got nasty hands.
Hughes wants the takedown. Hughes on his back. A wrestler does not like to be on his back.
You know what, though? Matt Hughes is very competent on his back. He's not really a wrestler anymore. He's a true mixed martial arts fighter at this point. Very confident on his back. And you know what? I mean, we might see him try to submit BJ Penn.
Matt Hughes, BJ Penn.
You got to give the advantage here to BJ, though. This is BJ's world. Oh, BJ's got his back.
Let's see what he can do here.
This is where BJ gets guys in weird stuff. He's incredibly flexible. Matt's trying to get some sort of a footlock on him. BJ can take your back in weird positions because he's got incredible dexterity of his legs.
Oh, a big elbow there to the face of BJ Penn.
Nice inside elbow by Matt Hughes.
Yep. Punching from his back. And thus BJ needs to close the distance.
BJ didn't really take Matt Hughes down here. Matt kind of went for something and wound up on the ground. I'm sure right now he regrets that.
BJ Penn now. It'll be interesting as the fight goes on to see how much Matt Hughes can just simply power through because of the strength advantage. Right now, though, BJ in the close guard of Matt Hughes.
Yeah, but Matt's not going to power through on his back. What he really wants to do is be on top and stuff BJ against the fence and maul him.
For all the news forthcoming as well as present, website of choice, UFC.tv. And we should mention over 1,500 Miller Lite employees here in attendance tonight, getting a taste of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Get your taste of a cold Miller Lite after tonight's show.
This is a huge deal having Miller Lite sponsor the UFC, and it's just the first of, I'm sure, many big corporations sponsoring what is the most exciting sport in the world.
One word for you, mainstream.
Right now, the support has survived because of the internet and pay-per-view only. Just wait till it gets on regular television and people see how exciting it is.
Well, this night has been thus far unparalleled. BJ described this fight as this, Joe. He said, we're going to play human chicken. One guy will turn off. And he believes, of course, that Matt Hughes will turn off first. It'll be interesting to see when we get to the point that you, my partner, believe we have reached that game of human chicken.
That's a very interesting way of putting it, human chicken. It just goes to show you how BJ thinks. He's a wild man.
He is a wild man.
Which is why he took this fight in the first place.
The Hilo boy.
Now, here's the question. Did Matt Hughes take him lightly? Matt Hughes thinks he's far too strong, far too experienced at 170 pounds, and that he's going to just go through BJ.
Generally, Matt Hughes doesn't rush to the gym. He said 3 days after his last fight, he went right back into the gym. After defeating Frank Trigg, he was back in the gym the next Monday. Matt told me that on Wednesday. He said the holidays messed him up a bit, but overall, he has trained hard for this fight.
Well, he's been accused in the past of taking fights very lightly just because he's just so incredibly talented that he can kind of skate through a fight. The fight with Sean Shirk, for instance, I heard that he only trained a couple weeks for that fight, which is just amazing when you think of how dangerous a challenger Sean Shirk is, and to train only 2 weeks for him and to completely dominate him.
Well, unquestionably, he's genetically gifted.
Not completely dominated, but win a clear-cut decision.
Yes. When BJ Penn
Right now, he can't get off his back.
Wants to prove that he is the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
Well, BJ's not doing any damage here, but he... Oh! I said that. He lands a big right hand. And he's in his half guard now, and he passed. He's mounted.
He's mounted with 45 seconds left in round 1. 45 seconds.
This is a bad spot for Matt Hughes.
Could we have ourselves an upset in the making?
This is worst case scenario for Matt Hughes. BJ on top of him, punching him from his back. BJ has got incredible back control.
BJ looking for the choke.
He's got the choke. He's down.
It's over. It's over. We have a new welterweight champion. A new welterweight champion. BJ Penn has the belt he so dearly has sought after. He has upset Matt Hughes.
Unbelievable.
The run of dominance has ended. BJ Penn is the new welterweight champion.
Wow. I am blown away. Look at BJ Penn. He's on Cabbage's shoulder and he's just smacking himself in the head. He's freaking out. Wow. Incredibly dominant performance by BJ Penn. Let's take a look at that rear naked choke. Here's the end of the fight. Let's take a look at that replay.
Let's move it, let's move it.
This BJ's in Matt's guard. You see him pass, big punch. Controls Matt's leg with his legs, mounts. Matt rolls, which is the worst thing to do. BJ's got his back.
BJ Penn became a black belt in jiu-jitsu faster than any American. And when he had the opportunity to close it out by submission with very little time left in the round, he does it.
Here we see Matt made a huge mistake. He reached for BJ's foot. Instead of defending the choke, he tried to do something to BJ's foot, like he tried to get him in some kind of an ankle lock or something.
And look at
that
this.
was it. He
a big
exposed
kiss
his neck.
on the lips, and Matt smiles. Bruce Buffer, we have seen a shocking development inside the Octagon.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner at 4 minutes 39 seconds of round number 1. For the winner by tap out due to a rear naked choke. And now, the new undisputed UFC welterweight champion of the world, BJ.
Wow. And he said the belt wasn't important. He cannot contain his emotions, Joe.
BJ, congratulations. I know you're unbelievably emotionally freaked out right now. Can you believe what you just did?
Yeah, but when you work so hard for something and then you finally get down it.
BJ, so many people doubted you going into this fight. They thought that Matt Hughes was too big. Did that help fuel you?
I know I'm the best. I know he couldn't even take me down and stuff. Matt was the best champion, the #1 pound for pound. He's everything, an idol and everything. And when we were fighting even, I was like, I'm fighting one of my idols right now in the ring, and I don't even know what I did today right now.
BJ, let's take a look at the end of the fight. Walk me through this.
I hit him. I was like, oh, this is gonna be just like another one of those times where the guy gets out and I gotta keep beating him up, but he tapped.
Now, we're gonna take a look at you celebrating afterwards.
I don't even know if I deserve this thing, man.
Oh, you deserve it without a doubt.
I just wanna, Mom, Pop, I know you're here. I love you.
BJ, look at you on top of Cabbage celebrating.
To be the best, Momir Pekovic told me to be the best, you gotta be one crazy son of a bitch, and that's the truth.
You certainly are that. BJ Penn, ladies and gentlemen.
I wanna thank everybody who helped me train for this fight. Everybody.
Back to you, Mike.
Overwhelmed and justifiably so with emotion, BJ Penn has what he dearly wanted. He has the title of best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, and just as a bonus prize, he finally gets the UFC belt. Joe Rogan.
I know that's a tough defeat. What's going through your mind right now? Talk us through it.
Biggest thing going through my mind now is the pressure's off. You've got no idea when you win 4 or 5 in a row and everybody's gunning for you. And I'll walk out of this octagon with a smile on my face, to be honest.
What does the future hold for Matt Hughes now? What do you do now?
I don't know what goes on next. Dana White and the UFC will come up with that. They asked me if I wanted a direct rematch, just like before. I've never asked for an opponent. Whoever the UFC puts in front of me and whoever they deem is the best opponent for me, that's who I'll fight next.
You know what, Matt? You're a true champion, and true champions always grow from losses, and I'm sure that's going to happen with you.
Thank you.
Thank you for all your great fights in the Octagon, and look forward to seeing the future. Matt Hughes, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Mike.
You know what really hits me right now is you have 2 of the classiest individuals in professional athletics. BJ Penn, such a likable young Hawaiian. Who is more humble and more grounded than Matt Hughes? Who's more humble and more grounded than that man? Randy the Natural Couture, 40 years old, a superstar in his elder years, if you will. Now, Randy the Natural Couture, 6 years after what he said was his greatest upset ever, takes on a very heartstrong Vitor the Phenom Belfort. Could we see lightning strike twice here tonight, with Penn upsetting the longtime champion a moment ago, and still ahead, these 2 men, Vitor Belfort, Randy the Natural Couture, for the light heavyweight crown. Speaking of light heavyweights, how about the announcement made tonight? UFC 47, it is on, and I use the word finally. Tito will fight Chuck.
Exactly as advertised, Liddell throws the punch. Tito Ortiz is the champion.
Tito's taking a page out of Chuck Liddell's book with that big left hand.
It is all over.
I can't even begin to fathom a match between Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell.
One of your best friends, Chuck Liddell, is next in line. What's going to happen?
I don't know. I'm not really thinking about that right now. Me and Chuck, I guess we got to sit back and look at it. I guess we got to renegotiate things, because me and Chuck, I mean, our friendship's not worth the money we're getting paid, if you ask me.
He's trying to get himself more money. He wasn't trying to get me any more money.
We were friends, and we had a pact, and we were never going to fight.
There was never any agreement not to fight.
There he is. Chuck Liddell is looking for Tito Ortiz.
And Tito Ortiz was just cheering his friend on.
I feel very betrayed, because all of a sudden I'm getting pushed in a corner because I never wanted to fight him, because I never want to do damage on my friend.
He makes it as there was way tighter between us because it was convenient for him. It was a good excuse not to fight me.
He hindered my image by saying I was afraid of him, that I'm going to back down from him.
Time and time again, him not taking the fight when it was offered to him, everyone figured out, you know, hey, yeah, for some reason he doesn't want to fight Chuck.
I ain't dodging nobody. Ain't nobody I'm dodging. I was the champion, and in my mind, I'm still the champion.
He talks so much trash.
I'm going in there to try to hurt him. I'm going in there with no respect, and I'm going in trying to take his head off.
And I hope he does come out so we get a good show. He comes out and tries to hurt me, because I'm going to be trying to hurt him.
He leaves himself open for shots. Yeah, he may throw his 1-2 shot really, really hard, and he'll catch average guys and knock them out, but I'm not an average guy.
I would love to see him come after me, come up and stand up with me. I'll knock his head off.
I get to fight 3 rounds for once. So I get to push myself a little harder. I get to push my tempo a little harder, because I'm not going to get as tired as quick. I don't have to fight 5 rounds.
If he comes after me like he says he is, he's going to get knocked out in the first round.
When I step in the Octagon on April 2nd, there's not going to be a Chuck Liddell. There's just going to be an opponent in front of me, and I'm going to buzz all right through his ass.
I hope he thinks that when he shows up, but he won't think it when he leaves the ring.
This fight has been coming for a long time.
Finally, it's on.
Let the beatings begin.
Scratch it, Bruce. We got him.
see that fight. I don't know about you, but I'm pretty excited. And we have here tonight in the house the two fighters who will be facing each other, starting with none other than the Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz. And his opponent, April 2nd, the Iceman, Chuck Liddell. There's been a lot of emotions, there's been a lot of talk. Tito, I'm gonna start with you first. Tell me what's gonna happen on April 2nd.
Fuck April 2nd. What's up? Iceman, the Iceman. With your belly, you look like more of the snowman. Man, I can't wait for April 2nd. All these fans, I want to thank for all the support. This fight's finally gonna happen. You thinking I'm ducking you? I just never want to give you a beating, so now it's gonna happen. April 2nd, like I said, let the beatings begin.
Chuck, tell me what you think about all this.
Hey, this guy's been talking all this shit for a long time. He's the one that started talking shit. He stepped in the ring after I beat Vitor and started saying he's gonna kick my ass. Well, he better be practicing his wrestling, because I know he's not man enough to stand in the middle of this ring and strike with me. And if he is, I'll promise everyone here, if he's man enough to stand in the middle of this ring and strike with me, I'm gonna knock him out. And he knows it.
April 2nd, ladies and gentlemen, right here in Mandalay Bay, Tito Ortiz and Chuck Liddell.
One more thing, hey Chuck, you've gotten your ass kicked the last couple times, but hey, don't worry about it, buddy. You're still #1 in my book.
Well, I guess that's the end of a formerly great friendship, huh? Alrighty then. Coming up, UFC 47, April 2nd, right here at the Mandalay Bay Events Center. It is on. Tickets on sale now. It is on live on pay-per-view, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. A heavyweight belt on the line that night between Sylvia and Orlovsky. But the fight everyone has waited and waited and waited again to see will take place that night. UFC 47, Chuck the Iceman Liddell against the former light heavyweight champion, Tito, the Huntington Beach bad boy, Ortiz. My goodness. Let's check back in with Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's UFC 47, April 2nd. The Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz versus the Iceman, Chuck Liddell. Tickets on sale across the country tomorrow. Tonight, we have a number of mixed martial artists, dignitaries, and celebrities in the audience with us. I'd like to introduce them. Starting off with the actor from The Transporter and The Italian Job, Jason Statham. Actor and producer of Independence Day, Dean Devlin. Actor and star of The Green Mile, Michael Clark Duncan. Actor and star of Panic Room and Phone Booth, Forrest Whitaker. From The Mancow Show, Kenny Smith. The Baldwin brothers, Alec, Steven, and Billy. UFC fighter Chemo. UFC middleweight fighter Phil Baroni. UFC welterweight fighter Robbie Lawler. And lightweight fighter Caro Uno. Baltimore Orioles pitcher Rick Bauer. And motion picture film star and star of the famous TV series Walker, Texas Ranger, and martial arts legend Chuck Norris. From the UFC Hall of Fame, Ken Shamrock. Boston hockey player Lyndon Byers. UFC heavyweight fighter Cabbage. From the world champion St. Louis Rams, Marshall Faulk. Running back for the Miami Dolphins, Ricky Williams. From the Kansas City Chiefs, cornerback Ray Crockett. UFC lightweight fighter Dwayne Bang Ludwig. Baltimore Orioles outfielder Marty Cordova. From the Chicago White Sox, Frank Thomas. New York Yankees infielder Jason Giambi. Toronto Blue Jays pitcher Vince Perkins, motocross racer Carey Hart, UFC heavyweight fighter Tim Sylvia, and they're all here tonight for your enjoyment, because here we are in the action, UFC 46 Supernatural.
Bruce, thank you very much. Indeed, a star-studded event here on Super Bowl weekend in Las Vegas, a popular destination for the Super Bowl. This was once a welterweight fight. It is now a battle in the middleweight division. Verissimo and Newton have agreed to fight at 175 pounds. Newton is back in the UFC. Renato Charuto Verissimo is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and is undefeated in mixed martial arts competition. Verissimo was known mostly for being BJ Penn's Jiu-Jitsu instructor, but became recognized as a dangerous mixed martial artist with his 2-round destruction of highly respected UFC veteran Gil Castillo in October at Rumble on the Rock 4. Now Verissimo looks to test his skills in the Octagon.
To me, it's pretty much everything, you know? To be in UFC, you know, for the first time, you know, means, you know, as far as, you know, mixed martial arts career, it's everything that people want. I mean, I wanted to prove them, you know what I mean? They never waste their time with me, that's for sure.
The Ronin, Carlos Newton, is a submission machine. He's tapped out top fighters like Pat Miletich, Pele Landy Johns, and Pete Spratt. A fan favorite and former UFC World Welterweight Champion, Newton is a great athlete with an exciting fighting style. Newton is still aching for an opportunity at revenge at the man who took away his UFC title, Matt Hughes. Newton says he's ready to go to war on the feet or on the ground, and that he will emerge victorious.
When my fight against Renato, I'm going to come in and work to the body real hard, just make him work. I don't think he's the type of guy who can really take the pain, and I'm going to bring it.
Coming up next, Renato Charuto Verissimo versus the Ronin, Carlos Newton. We welcome into the Ultimate Fighting Championship undefeated mixed martial artist Renato Verissimo, partnered in BJ Penn's camp. So there's a good vibe right now for this man now fighting out of Hawaii. Hard charging, knockout type guy. Carlos likes that though. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And again, we should note that it was originally a welterweight battle, Joe. Some travel problems for Newton made it unable for him to cut weight, so they agreed contractually to fight at 175 pounds.
Yeah, Charuto is he's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, but he's also a very effective striker. I saw him fight Gil Castillo, and he kept the fight on his feet and battered Gil Castillo. Very impressive strikes, and again, BJ Penn's Jiu-Jitsu teacher. I mean, if that doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does.
In Hawaii against Castillo, wow, at the Rumble at the Rock, he looked very, very good.
Yeah, he really dominated Gil Castillo, busting him up bad, broke his nose, and kept the fight standing. I mean, Gil could not do anything to him.
Already BJ Penn has shocked some of the world. Now Verissimo would like to carry on the Hawaiian winning streak against his opponent. Born in the British Virgin Islands, moved to Toronto suburb, Newmarket, Ontario at 10 years old. Carlos Newton, neurological psychologist is what he would like to be at one point. He truly is a thinking man with a great body and a set of skills.
Yeah, Carlos Newton is a very unusual fighter. He's a really calm, peaceful guy. A lot of his training is based on the philosophy of Miyamoto Musashi, the guy who wrote the Book of Five Rings. He idolizes the Japanese and actually speaks fluent Japanese. Incredibly intelligent guy, great jiu-jitsu guy, and much improved striker as well.
Carlos Newton. Last fight, he beat Renzo Gracie by decision in Pride. Huge mixed martial arts experience edge here for Carlos Newton.
Absolutely, a big edge for Carlos Newton, but again, Charuto, no joke. BJ Penn's jiu-jitsu instructor and an effective striker. I think a worthy challenger, and it's nice to see Carlos Newton back in the UFC again.
So Carlos Newton returns with vengeance on his mind. The last time in the UFC, he won by Kimura at 145 of the first against Pete Sprat, still a contender in many eyes? Absolutely. Why? We will discuss that as he puts on his set of skills. Tail of the tape for this now 175-pound matchup, brought to you by Miller Lite. 27-year-old Newton is 3 years younger than Verissimo, and there you see the adjusted weights, which was a classy thing for Verissimo to allow to happen. Let's go to Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next fight is 3 rounds in the UFC welterweight division. Introducing first, the fighter standing to my left. This man is a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu fighting expert who holds a mixed martial arts record of 4 wins with no losses. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 174 pounds. Fighting out of Hilo, Hawaii. Please welcome Renato Charuto And his opponent, standing to my right, this man is an expert in the art of Dragon Ball Jiu-Jitsu. He holds a mixed martial arts record of 13 wins with 7 losses. Standing 5 feet 9 inches tall, weighing in at 175 pounds. Fighting out of Newmarket, Ontario, Canada. Please welcome the Ronin, Carlos Newton.
All right, here we go to our referee, Larry Landless.
You ready? You ready? Let's rock and roll.
Carlos looking to take him down right away. He's got a body lock. Charuto's defending. Carlos got him down, and Charuto's back up. Good takedown defense by Verissimo. He's got double underhooks here on Newton. Oh, Newton's got him down. Now Carlos Newton's jiu-jitsu is a little bit different than your standard Brazilian jiu-jitsu. He actually trained, is more of a Japanese form of jiu-jitsu. He trained up in Canada. And he considers himself a Ronin because he really trains with a bunch of different camps. He's got a very varied style of grappling. Charuto, pretty much a straight Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt with some excellent striking to go with it.
Action.
Carlos stuck in Charuto's closed guard.
Carlos in the white shorts. So much like Frank Mir, really, in the cerebral approach that he brings to this fight game.
Absolutely, just a bit more experienced. Quite a bit more experienced, actually, than Frank Mir.
Yep.
Let's go. Action. Let's go.
And quite a bit more conditioned as well.
13 mixed martial arts victories for Carlos Newton in his very impressive career. He once said, "I'm a scientist, and mixed martial arts is art." He discusses the mechanical physics and the psychology of beating other human beings up.
He's a very unusual guy to see fighting in a cage.
Yes.
Really soft-spoken, very calm, kind guy, really friendly, but really enjoys beating the crap out of people.
And he's pretty good at it.
He's fantastic at it. I mean, the guy's resume is a who's who of mixed martial arts. Renzo Gracie, Pele, Anderson Silva, Dan Henderson. This guy's fought everyone. Oh, Charuto's very close to getting an armbar here. He's got his legs locked over Carlos's body, over his shoulder. He's got the shoulder lock, and he's looking to extend it on
and
here.
he throws a couple of good rights in the process.
Good job defending it by Carlos.
Carlos using his strength to pull out, but he ate a right in the process.
Charuto shows a very excellent guard there.
Charuto, again, as we've talked about, is B.J. Penn's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu trainer. And as you said, quite appropriately, Joe, that in itself tells you something.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, B.J. Penn, oh, look at this. Nice sweep. Beautiful. In the mount. Whoa. Beautiful sweep by Charuto.
Charuto trying to tee off little ground and pound full mount.
The question about Carlos Newton has always been, who does he train with? Oh, he's got his back.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
He's got it.
Watch the back of the head. Watch the back of the head.
Larry Landless warning him to not punch the back of the head. Ceruto stretches him out. Nice punches from the rear mount. What I was saying before he almost took him there is that the question about Carlos Newton has always been, who is he training with? You know, he's not training in a camp like Militich. He's not training with American Kickboxing Academy or American Top Team. Does he have top flight guys to train with? We know Ceruto does.
Absolutely.
He trains with BJ Penn.
Two similar sets of skills displayed here in the Octagon tonight. A new welterweight champion has been crowned in BJ Penn. Now his instructor is trying to take it to Carlos Newton. And for all the updates, all the post-game quotes, all the previews for It's On UFC 47, website of choice, UFC.tv. Ceruto impressive here in round one. 50 seconds remains in round one.
Ceruto's showing excellent control. Carlos is doing everything he can to try to roll out of this, but he's having no success. Looks like he's got, very close there, he got an arm across the throat. Carlos is defending, but he can't shake Ceruto off his back. He rolls right into the mouth.
Another combination. And he shows his back instead again. But he only needs to survive, at least for now, 25 more seconds.
Ceruto is showing a skill level far beyond 4 bouts. I mean, very impressed with him at this point. He's got Carlos back.
Uppercut.
Carlos trying to control his arm.
Carlos is going to survive this round, and I think the word is survive. Final seconds ticking away. Oh, a left at the bell.
Impressive first round for Ceruto.
Coming up next for the light heavyweight championship, Randy the Natural Couture. The greatest upset in Randy's career, and he told me 2 days ago this win defined what he is today, was when he beat Vitor Belfort as a huge underdog. Vitor was just a kid then. He knows he'll see a better Vitor tonight. But can Randy Couture be defeated? We thought at one time no, but many of us thought Matt Hughes couldn't be defeated, so anything can happen.
Anything can happen in mixed martial arts. Anyone can be defeated. There's just so many ways to win a fight. No one can be perfect in all ways. And, you know, when you fight top-level guys, you take the chance of being submitted, knocked out, whatever. And it's very possible that Vitor Belfort could knock out Randy Couture. It's very possible he could submit him. It's very possible that Randy could knock out Vitor and submit him. That's why we're here. It's gonna be a fantastic matchup.
Larry Landless set to begin our second round.
Back. Stop! Go back! We didn't start you! You ready? You ready? Let's rock and roll. Let's go.
Larry's doing a great job tonight. You know, he's very focused. You can see that.
Good left hook by Carlos Newton. He's got the double underhooks. He's gonna try to take Ceruto down again. Good takedown defense by Ceruto.
Newton.
Oh no!
Wow.
Ceruto takes him
has
down.
some skills.
Oh, he's awesome. I'm very impressed. I mean, Carlos Newton is what most people consider a grappling master, and he's really getting tooled here.
Watch his fingers.
You know, it's funny, when Verissimo was asked what was his job before he started fighting, he said, coaching jiu-jitsu in Hawaii. Well, I think that's kind of fighting, as you found out.
Yeah, I guess it's always been.
Yeah, it's always been this game of Brazilian jiu-jitsu against the submission and punching ability of a believer in self-discipline, Carlos Newton.
He's incredibly long for a welterweight too, at 6'1". Yes. You know, he's got fantastic leverage and really composed. I mean, this is a guy fighting in the UFC for the first time, and he's only had 4 previous mixed martial arts bouts. Most guys come in a little shaky, and to come in against a top flight guy, former UFC welterweight champion, and just dominate him like this is just unheard of. Ceruto's stuck in Carlos Newton's half guard here, and what he's going to look to do probably is throw some punches to distract him and then pass and mount him again.
Coming up next, the main event, Randy the Natural Couture against Vitor Belfort 6 years later for the light heavyweight championship. 3:23 remains in this 175-pound match, second round. Officially a middleweight matchup, but both agreeing to
stop it at 175.
Not much damage being done here on top by Ceruto. He's covering Carlos's mouth here to try to stop the bleeding and to distract him to mount. There he goes. He's trying to get his leg through.
You know, one of the questions we had coming into tonight, could Carlos Newton prove worthy to face Matt Hughes for a third time? Well, wow, has the picture changed right in front of our eyes this evening.
Yeah, unbelievably. I mean, Matt Hughes gets submitted in the first round, and Carlos Newton is getting dominated by BJ Penn's instructor.
Renato Verissimo, believe in the Hawaiians, our theme thus far tonight.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? How about Hawaii? Wow. One island. You got Cabbage, you got BJ Penn, Ceruto. There's a bunch of bad dudes living in Hawaii.
There's no question.
You would think it's so beautiful there, no one would fight. You know, you just kind of hang out on the beach and drink margaritas, but I guess not. I guess dudes get a little bored of that and start beating the shit out of each other.
The fighting Hawaiian spirit has cut open Carlos Newton. Carlos Newton is bleeding.
He passed. Ceruto's passed. He's inside control now. Carlos got him back in full guard. Good job by Carlos Newton.
But a good shot.
He's taking some shots, but those aren't anything that's going to take him out. They suck and they hurt, but it's not going to take him out.
Stop. Let's go. On your feet.
On the feet, they will go.
On the feet. Larry Landless forcing the action. Carlos Newton looks very flustered.
Yep, he's flustered. He's weathered. Let's see if he gets those legs back.
Good jab by Newton.
Whoa! Oh, high kick. He ducks under.
Good body shot.
Goes to the body. Oh, and a big knee. And Carlos flips out of it. Carlos went with the uppercut going midsection. And Ceruto presses it.
I don't think Carlos looks frustrated. I don't think he expected to be dominated like this on the ground.
Wow.
That was a very easy takedown for Ceruto. Just a simple leg trip.
Well, as you said, he's only fought 4 times in mixed martial arts, Joe, but he's never lost. Former gold medal national champion in Brazil in 96 and 97 was Verissimo. 96 silver medal world championship, 98 silver medal Pan Am championship, all in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
There he goes, he passed. I was just about to say Carlos Newton's legs were wide open. Ceruto could pass it easily. It looks almost like Carlos Newton is kind of giving up. It looks like he's getting very frustrated.
Well, this is not the way he wanted to return to North America.
Absolutely not. I mean, Renato Verissimo looks like the guy who's got all the experience. If I had a guess, if I didn't know anything about these two guys and I watched this fight, I would think Renato's the guy with 20 fights and Carlos is the relative newcomer. And Renato just looks so calm and relaxed too. Wow.
Final seconds of round 2.
Again, Carlos Newton is an incredibly talented guy, but the question has always been amongst mixed martial arts insiders is who's he training with? He's got his back. Renato's got his back.
Look at the time, Joe. Look at the time. 7 seconds
to go. Carlos is going to ride this out.
Again, he had to ride one out at the end of round 1 as well. Verissimo is in control.
I don't think anyone's doing this to Carlos Newton in training. And in order to face a guy like this, you have to be able to train with someone who can do that to you. You have to feel what that feels like.
Coming up, light heavyweight championship bout. 40-year-old Randy the Natural Couture told me I've never felt invincible. And Vitor Belfort said, tonight I am fighting against a great model for what this sport is about. I admire Randy Couture, and while I realize that my sister is in a horrendous position right now, I have a job to do, and I want to do that job effectively. He is 15 years younger. He is the Phenom. Coming up next, light heavyweight championship, Vitor Belfort against Randy the Natural Couture. Set for the 3rd round.
You ready? Let's rock and roll. Let's go.
Carlos has got to do something to pull this out, whether it's keeping on his feet and strike. Not with his hands down like that. He's not.
He was just rocked.
He came out with his left hand just really low.
Oh, and a knee now delivered, and down goes Newton again.
Newton looks very frustrated and flustered here. He's really losing his composure.
Verissimo is magnifico so far here tonight. That didn't make any
play
sense.
On words.
Yeah, but that one I messed up. Magnifico. Sorry.
It's all right, man.
Sometimes you got to swing on the slider and see if it works.
You got to see what happens.
That's right.
Roll the dice, baby.
Just rolling up to that point too, huh?
Yeah, Carlos does not look good here.
No.
He's not attempting anything. He's just hanging on.
And who knows if the delayed travel and everything he had problems getting into town this week had something maybe to do with it.
I'm sure maybe it had something to do with it, but Carlos is a professional mixed martial arts fighter, and he should be prepared to fight in the biggest event in all of mixed martial arts. I mean, you don't come into the UFC with any excuses or any potential excuses. You do what you got to do. He had a whole day to rest up and refuel, rehydrate himself. And I think what we're looking at is Ceruto is an incredibly talented fighter. And Carlos Newton is just not used to this. He's not training with guys like this.
Stop, let's go, on our feet, on our feet.
On the feet.
Good job by Larry Landless.
So BJ Penn is now a world champion, and Verissimo is 3.5 minutes from winning his UFC debut.
I don't like seeing Carlos like this with his hands down.
Oh, why?
He looks tired, and he looks like he's going to get cracked.
Oh, and he did it again. He's in trouble. He's in trouble. He leaned down, and the knee came up. And Newton was out for a moment. He was stunned.
Good job by Newton taking him down. Very good job by Newton.
Carlos
This
can
is
take a punch.
Carlos' chance.
He can take a shot because that was a big knee.
He took a huge knee against Pele when he fought in Pride.
Yep.
And just gave him the thumbs up. He's got to do something with this. He's finally got Ceruto in a good position. He's got to do something. He can't just lay on him like this. He's not doing anything. Larry's going to stand him back up. All right, Carlos has got head and arm control. It looks like he's going to try to mount.
The only thing Carlos can do here is finish this fight somehow.
He's got to find a way.
Or he's going to lose in the scorecard badly.
Yeah,
badly.
He's got 2 minutes and 30 seconds to try to finish Ceruto, and I don't see how he's going to do that.
You know, he's got to try to submit a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu expert who is much less winded than he is.
I think right now he's enjoying this control, trying to catch his breath, and he's probably scared to make a move to lose the position and get stuck in a bad one again.
All right, well, now they're up.
Now they're up. Good job by Ceruto standing up and taking him down. Nice. I am very impressed with Ceruto.
Ceruto has been training since 1993 when he quit playing water polo and started jiu-jitsu because his friends were doing it at the time.
There's a contrast.
Yeah, man.
Sports.
Wow. Everything fell together when BJ Penn started his UFC career. He became more interested because of BJ helped as much as he could, and Joe Silva said, all right, there's got to be somebody else, a brainchild behind BJ Penn's jiu-jitsu skills. He gets a shot, and he's definitely taking advantage of it.
Yeah, we didn't know much about Ceruto besides the fact that he was BJ Penn's instructor until we saw him fight UFC veteran Gil Castillo, and he just completely dominated him. You know, whether we, and then there's a thought, well, did Gil Castillo take him lightly? Is he really that talented? But clearly, he's that talented. Very impressed.
Under a minute remains in the third and final round.
Let's go, action, let's go. Action, action.
Nothing Carlos can do on this night.
Yeah, Carlos isn't even trying to do anything. I mean, I don't know how he thinks he's going to win this fight with 30 seconds left just lying there. He's got to take a chance. I mean, better to, get submitted than to just lie there and wait the timeout.
Which is what is happening here.
Which, by the way, is very easy for me to say here with a headset on.
Wow. Based on your face, this is where you should be, son.
I told you, man, hopscotch gets rough.
I know.
Those little girls don't play, man. You take their chalk, they beat your ass. Uh-oh. It looks like Ceruto almost had him in a head and arm there.
Well, you know what? He's going to win a unanimous decision.
Clearly and easily.
Nice job by Carlos to withstand, though. Very game opponent, Carlos Newton. Verissimo, outstanding. Oh, he was out for a second.
Yeah,
Just
a couple
split
good
second.
right hands. Good knee and a couple good right hands. Good job by Carlos of keeping it together and then eventually taking Ceruto down. Nice job of changing. There we go again, Ceruto taking him down. I was saying, very nice job of Carlos Newton of shifting his weight and taking Ceruto down, but too little, too late, and not enough afterwards.
Ceruto getting a little attention to his right hand, telling his corner that he's having trouble with it. I don't know if he broke it.
He thinks he broke his thumb.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, if he did, first punch.
Beautiful. Wow, first punch? Well, that's one of the things that happens with these open gloves. You know, there's a couple unfortunate things that can happen. You can get your fingers jammed, or you can poke people in the eyes accidentally.
But if he broke it on the first punch, and we're just trying to speculate what he said.
I should have been fighting for so long. First time I compete with him and contenders. Fuck, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.
Wow. This is a sport just unlike any others. You don't break your thumb and keep playing like this. I mean, and then you don't see opponents do that so immediately with such true respect and admiration.
Yeah, well, you know what? You know, when you dig deep like this, I mean, to be a mixed martial arts fighter, to be any kind of fighter, in fact, you got to dig deep. And those guys really learn to respect each other.
Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Nelson Hamilton scores the bout 30-27. Judge Marcos Rosales scores the bout 30-27. Judge Glenn Trowbridge scores the bout 30-27 for the winner by unanimous decision, Renato Ceruto Bellissimo.
A clinic put on by Barissimo here in his UFC debut, and a disappointed Carlos Newton as he is defeated by unanimous decision. My partner Joe Buffer has made his way to the Octagon. Joe Rogan, Joe Buffer. That's Bruce Buffer.
Ceruto, congratulations. Welcome to the UFC. Now, to someone who hadn't seen you fight before and didn't know who was the veteran and who only had 4 fights, they would think you were the veteran. 4 mixed martial arts fights, you completely dominated former welterweight champion Carlos Newton. How does that feel?
Man, to tell the truth, still he didn't hit me yet. I mean, so young in this game, but I've been around, you know, since '97 over here training Vale Tudo. And, you know, I just gotta get props to my training camp. I mean, everybody, Shaolin came all the way from Brazil to come over here and give me some strength. You know, so thanks for everybody to come over. You guys gonna see me around a little bit more this time.
Absolutely. Now, did you hurt your hand early in the fight? Tell us what happened.
First, I tried to punch it by accident. I think I hit his forehead, and I felt a little bit, but there's nothing. Some ice, and be back in training.
All right, well, congratulations. Fantastic fight, and we look forward to seeing much more of you in the future.
I just want to say thank you so much. Nico, I love you. Thank you.
Ceruto, ladies and gentlemen. Back to you, Goldie.
Joe Rogan, thank you very much, and congratulations as he defeats Carlos Newton once again by unanimous decision. What a night of fights we have had here this evening. We will be back in this same very building on April 2nd.
The friendship is finished.
We were friends and we had a pact and we were never gonna fight.
There was never any agreement not to fight.
The respect is gone.
I'm gonna literally try to hurt Chuck. I don't care if I win, I don't care if I lose, I'm just gonna try to hurt him.
He's afraid to get hit, and I'm gonna hit him. He knows that.
Their careers are at stake.
It's time for me to show what I'm made of.
It's a long way away for me to get another shot at this title if I lose this fight.
Finally, the most anticipated fight in UFC history is on. The Huntington Beach bad boy, Tito Ortiz, and the Iceman, Chuck Liddell, go to war in a battle for their professional lives. Who will survive? It's on.
This fight is way overdue.
This fight's been coming for a long time.
I'm gonna try to do what I get paid for, and that's beat people down.
I want to shut him up.
And get my title back. That's all I care about.
I'm winning by knockout. That's how this fight's ending.
Let the beatings begin.
The Ultimate Fighting Championship presents UFC 47, Friday, April 2nd, live on pay-per-view.
Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell put on a little show. No loss for words for either of the competitors. Tickets on sale now. Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, April 2nd, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific, live on pay-per-view. Joe Rogan, it is on.
Yeah, that's real anger. I mean, you look in those guys' eyes when they were staring at each other and facing each other off. These guys really hate each other now. Whether or not they were friends at one point, That's immaterial now. They hate each other, and it's going to be a fantastic fight.
Been a fantastic evening so far. The world has been shocked. Well, as I said before, part of the world, BJ Penn upsets Matt Hughes.
Man, you know, I thought BJ was going to have a hard time going into this fight. I knew he's incredibly talented, but that was just phenomenal. And, you know, Matt Hughes, what can you say? I mean, he's been a dominant champion. I'm sure he's going to learn from this. I'm sure he's going to be back better than ever.
As he said, the pressure is now off, and the pressure is on the competitors in our main event of the evening for the light heavyweight championship belt. 40-year-old Captain America, Randy the Natural Couture, against Vitor the Phenom Belfort. It is the main event of the evening. The Ultimate Fighting Championship, live tonight from Las Vegas, Mandalay Bay Events Center. These two competitors absolutely are outstanding. Vitor Belfort against Randy Couture. The light heavyweight championship is forthcoming. You know, 6 years ago, he was a phenom, but it was Randy Couture who was phenomenal. Now tonight, Randy Couture has said Vitor's more mature, he'll be more prepared, but I am better than ever.
Vitor Belfort has not come out to the octagon. He was given his cue, and we have seen this often in boxing matches where a fighter will stay in the dressing room to ice his opponent.
It kind of worked against him because the first thing that entered my mind when he didn't come out was that he was nervous, that he was scared.
No, I wasn't afraid. I was sick. I was sick.
How will this affect a veteran such as Randy Couture waiting in the octagon?
This won't bother Randy.
I was relaxed, I was smiling, I was in that right place.
He's actually laughing, and he feels as though this tactic isn't going to work.
Couture has landed a bunch of punches to the face of Vitor. Couture continues to pummel away at Vitor Belfort. That's it. A stunning upset.
I learned a lesson when I fought Randy. Randy taught me a lesson.
The fact that I beat him before when he was the phenom and pretty much tearing everybody up is one hurdle that he's got to get over.
Sometimes in life, when you lose, you get more than a win, because in the future you learn with the losses. Every day when I train thinking, doing my best. To be a fighter, you gotta be focused, you gotta have determination, you gotta have the dedication, you gotta have will.
I'm preparing just as hard or harder for this fight than I have for any other. At this point in my career, I'm fighting as well as I've fought. The cat's kind of out of the bag for me now. I'm probably not going to be the underdog anytime soon in any of my fights.
Now I think in this fight, I am the underdog.
I think he's still a very talented fighter. He's explosive, he's got great hands, he's got a good ground game.
It is over. That is the old Vitor.
Now, I'm here, I'm back.
It's gonna be a good fight. I'm ready to go.
And our main event brought to you tonight by Miller Lite. Over 1,500 Miller Lite employees in attendance tonight here at the Mandalay Bay Events Center. I will tell you one thing. This has the potential of being the greatest Vitor against the greatest Randy.
Absolutely. I mean, Randy's the guy who originally took the wind out of the sails of Vitor. Vitor was thought to be unbeatable. Randy destroyed him. Vitor's made a comeback, and now Vitor is back in top form. You saw him against Marvin Eastman. He's the Vitor of old, explosive, dynamic, in fantastic shape and focused.
Speaking of dynamic shape, explosive, and somewhat handsome as well. There he is. We'll get him to smile. Ken Shamrock. The multiple champion. I did. I just wanted to see if you were listening. You're welcome.
I appreciate you guys having me on, man.
Now, it's always a pleasure. Welcome back to the broadcast booth. What do you think you may see in this fight tonight?
Well, it's hard to tell, but Vitor's got to come out. His strongest asset is being physically and mentally sound, especially mentally. The only way he loses is when he beats himself. He's got great speed in his hands, got great power, he's got a good defense to a takedown, and he's pretty good at defending on the ground. He has to make Randy, in my opinion, cut the ring up, make Randy come straight on at him, and don't back up. Don't let Randy back him up. He's got to back Randy up. That's how he's going to win this fight. Randy, on the other hand, can't come straight in. He's got too strong a knees. He's got quick hands. He's got to circle, try and get him off balance, and then shoot.
All right, let's break down the fight in depth. Your keys, Joe and Ken.
Most important, I think, for Vitor, he's got to keep this fight standing. Let's go to the keys to victory right here. Most important, Randy's got to nullify Vitor's strikes. He's got to move outside of Vitor's distance. He's got to fake him, get inside, work the clinch.
He's got to use angles. He has to use angles. Got to circle around. Don't let him come. If he comes straight in, he's going to get hit with knees and punches. Randy has to use angles.
Randy wants to work the clinch. Randy's a master of dirty boxing. He likes to grab the back of your head and blast you with uppercuts. That's one of Randy's best strategies. He's a Greco-Roman wrestler, very strong inside the clinch.
One of the things that Randy or Vitor has to do when he's on the ground, he's got to get up, he's got to give up position, he's got to get to his feet. He can't stay on and play the guard because Randy will just ground and pound him. He's got to give up position, take chances, get to his feet.
One other thing Randy's got to do, ground and pound. He's the champion at that. He fought Tito Ortiz, who was probably the best ground and pound fighter in the business before he fought Randy, and just dominated him at his own game. That's what Randy wants to do. He wants to take Vitor into deep water.
Well, I think what has to happen here, I agree with you there, he has to control him on the ground. He has to not let him get to his feet and establish his punches.
So those are the keys from Joe and Ken in the instance of Randy Couture. Vitor Belfort obviously will have a different type of game plan. And if Vitor fights, as we said before, like he did against Mandalay Silva or Marvin Eastman, then Randy had better be prepared.
Oh, absolutely. Vitor Belfort is the most devastating striker we've ever seen in the UFC. Vitor's keys to victory. He's got to get off first. He can't let Randy control the pace. He wants to come and barnstorm him. That's the best Vitor.
What Vitor has to do is he's got to control the round on the feet. He's got to force Randy to come straight on, cut the ring off, make Randy come straight at him, use those powerful knees and those powerful hands.
Vitor's got to keep the fight standing. He doesn't want to go to the ground with Randy. I mean, Vitor's a jiu-jitsu black belt, but Randy Couture, he'll dominate him if he gets Vitor on the ground. He wants to keep the fight standing and strike and try to cut Randy up.
What Vitor Belfort has to do is force Randy, like I said, cut the ring off and come straight in, use his knees and his punches. You see what he did against Marvin Eastman? Very powerful upright knees.
Vitor's got to use his jiu-jitsu to survive on the ground. Once he gets Randy on top of him, if he gets Randy on top of him, he can't let Randy pound him and drop those big elbows down on him. He's got to control him and somehow get to his feet and survive.
Okay, one thing Vitor has to do is circle, keep Randy, cut the ring off, and come straight at him, but stay on his feet. If he does get taken to the ground, he has to give up position, get to his feet.
This is what my partner in the UFC Hall of Famer, Ken Shamrock, think as we break down the fight. Ken will help us call this fight for the light heavyweight championship. So you've heard from one Hall of Famer, and by the way, one celebrity. Bruce Buffer said we have a celebrity packed house tonight. What do those members of our UFC audience think we will see in this title matchup?
You know, I'm not a big Team Quest fan. In fact, I hate Team Quest, but I gotta go with the natural in this one.
I'm going to go with Randy Couture. I think he showed me something the last UFC that I was here. He showed me he's a KG veteran. He has a lot of ground grappling skills, and I think he's going to take it to him today.
I mean, they're both great. They're both great fighters. I think I really like Randy's style. I like his experience. You know, it's exciting too to see a fighter of his age be able to like mix it up in the manner that he does, and to be such a great champion and to have such a great heart. And I like his humbleness as well. So for me, I have to go with Randy. Although I think both of them are great fighters. You know?
My prediction for the fight tonight is Randy Couture because. He's got the experience. He's 41. He proved that he's a top dog out there. Belfort's got to punch his chance, and plus Randy's also a fellow Cast Odds member, so I'm definitely going for Randy.
I'm rooting for Randy Couture tonight because I think he's a champion with a humble spirit and a warrior's heart, and I think that he's a deserving champion.
I'm picking Randy. He's been him once before, and if he executes his game plan, he's going to win it. I mean, I'm not counting Vitor out, but I'm thinking Randy's the favorite.
Well, there you heard it, and it truly is a very mellow man with a great spirit, but a fighter's heart, as he has displayed over and over again, as Randy Couture gets set to try to defend what is now his light heavyweight championship against the Phenom Vitor Belfort.
Belfort, Brasil, Belfort, representando o Brasil, faça um barulho para receber o guerreiro, Vitor Belfort.
Well, we talked right at the top of the show tonight that he has his sister on his mind, he has his sister on his heart, literally. Priscilla. Our prayers are with Vitor and his family for the safe return of his sister. Our prayers and our heartfelt thoughts as he thinks about trying to defeat Randy Couture and winning a belt for the first time in his fighting career.
It's an incredibly difficult thing to fight in the first place, in a cage in front of thousands and millions of people on pay-per-view. How hard is it to fight when someone you love so dearly is missing and you don't even know where they are? I mean, Vitor's a courageous guy for taking this fight under this time of duress.
Ken, how can he, if he can, stay focused?
Well, I tell you, Vitor Belfort has always had a questionable mind. Sometimes things get to him, and it ruins his game plan. I don't know how this will affect him, but the last fight he didn't seem to have anything effective, but it went short, so I'm not sure where he's at. I hope that he can put this behind him and use this as a tool to generate some fire in him and give him some confidence, come out and fight. We'll see a great fight if that happens.
And even as much as Randy Couture respects Vitor Belfort, and he does, when asked about Vitor, when I talked to Randy a couple of days ago, he said, Vitor's mental, echoing your point, Ken, is always a question. So Randy will go against Vitor. In many ways, the most mature Vitor ever. He just got married. And as Jesus said, marriage makes you complete. He's more mature. He's 6 years removed to the loss. But yet, it will only be told in time how Vitor will react to the things happening thousands of miles away. And here we are, set to welcome back the UFC light heavyweight champion, Randy, the Natural Couture.
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Captain America, and hope to 40-year-old men all across the world. Who would have thought that this guy at 40 years old would be coming into his prime? More impressive in his last 2 bouts than he's been his entire career. Better stamina than guys decades younger than him. Improving his game constantly, improving his striking, improving his grappling. I mean, the guy's a phenomenon.
Married at age 18, has 2 older children, 21 and 19 years old, Ryan and Amy. And now they've added a newborn, Caden, who's 9 months old. I mean, you want to talk about a true rebirth? He's done it at home as a father as well as a mixed martial artist. Debuted in 1997 at age 34 in the 4-man tournament at Ultimate Force. His next appearance in the Octagon was at Collision Course, UFC 15, on October of 1997, when he defeated Vitor Belfort by TKO. Randy, the Natural Couture, calls this, and every time you ask him, simply a competition. The Natural is back, as is his opponent tonight, the Phenom. Our tale of the tape, brought to you by Miller Lite. Miller Lite beer, great beer, good call. 15 years his elder is Randy Couture. Vitor Belfort is 25 years old. Vitor can throw him, though. And as Randy has admitted, hand speed is an advantage that Vitor possesses in this fight. Our tale of the tape brought to you by Miller Lite. For the official introductions of tonight's main event of the evening, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this UFC championship bout is sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, with commissioners Dr. Tony Alamo, Skip Avancino, Joe Brown, and Dr. Flip Homansky. Executive Director Mark Ratner and Chairman John Bailey. Our judges at Octagon side are Dr. Nelson Hamilton, Marcos Rosales, and Cecil Peoples. Our doctor at Octagon side is Dr. Margaret Goodman, and when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon is Big John McCarthy. This event is sponsored by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling Miller beer. Good call. And now, live from the sold-out event center here at the Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, it's time for the main event of the evening. This fight is 5 rounds for the UFC Light Heavyweight Championship of the World. Introducing first the fighter standing to my left. This UFC warrior is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu and boxing expert who holds a mixed martial arts record of 11 wins with 3 losses. He stands 6 feet tall and weighed in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, please welcome the Phenom, Vitor Belfort! And now, introducing the champion, standing to my right. This man is a world-class Greco-Roman wrestler and mixed martial arts fighter. He holds a mixed martial arts record of 12 wins with 5 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall and weighed in at 204 pounds. Fighting out of Gresham, Oregon, this UFC warrior is the only fighter to move down in weight to capture a UFC championship title in a different weight class. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the former 2-time UFC heavyweight champion and the current undisputed UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, Randy the Natural Couture.
Prior to fight number 1, Randy had spent 3 weeks with a boxing coach.
I've been giving you instructions in the locker room. I want you to protect yourself at all times, obey my commands. Do you have any questions from the challenger? Any questions from the champion? Fight clean, fight hard, fight fair. Good luck.
Here we go.
Well, I'll tell you, it's going to be interesting to see what Randy does first. I think Randy has to immediately try and get him to the ground. If he tries to punch with him, he's fighting the wrong game.
Vitor looks remarkably relaxed and composed, very unlike him. He usually looks very nervous and excited before a fight. He looks so calm right now.
Don't forget, Eddie Bravo will score our fight along with our fans at home and those logged on at UFC.tv. Here we go. Light heavyweight championship is underway. He's going to want to close the distance, as you gentlemen pointed out in our keys.
He doesn't want to back up. He needs to circle, press him, throws a couple jabs. Right there, he should have been punching.
That's what he wants right there.
Yeah, if he can do this and he can keep on his feet for a while, more of a chance to
Randy's
land a
wincing
solid
like
punch.
something
Randy
happened.
is wincing
like
big
something
time.
happened in his eye.
That is, Randy might have got poked in the eye there. Randy is wincing in pain.
That's not good, because if Vitor sees a weakness, that's confidence. And when Vitor builds confidence, it's trouble.
Yeah, Randy looks like there's something seriously wrong.
Yeah. Did he tweak a knee or something? They're going to call a timeout. And John McCarthy's going to check it out.
First punch, something happened.
First punch, he said something happened. You know, let's take a look at the replay.
Looks like you got a finger in the eye.
You know what? That's one of the unfortunate side effects of these gloves.
Right there, just clipped his eye.
Just clipped his eye. I hope he's okay.
Oh no.
Well, I will say this.
You kidding me? They're gonna stop the fight.
They've got to stop the fight.
Oh my God.
They have stopped the fight.
You got to be kidding me. Wow. What a huge letdown. His eye's really bad. Wow.
Well, I will say this, that Vitor did look confident. And from what I've seen in there, when he was throwing his punches, he pushed him against the fence, he looked pretty confident. I think that would have been a great fight. And hopefully we can put this together quickly again. Maybe somewhere it has to happen again quickly. That's just a shame.
There's no question that it will.
Yeah, let's
and you know what? And Vitor doesn't want it like this. There's no question Vitor doesn't want it like this, Ken.
Let's take a look at the punch that caused the damage. It looks like it just grazed his eyeball.
It's like a little finger that came across his face, clipped his eye, because it didn't hit him. So it must have been a part of his finger coming out of there, caught him in the eye.
Tough to see it from that angle.
Yes,
Randy's still trying to talk to the doctors, Dr. Margaret
It looks
Goodman.
like it just grazed the eye. It could have easily been the glove. It just barely touched it. Sometimes a grazing punch can cut you a lot better than a punch that slams you straight on.
Yeah. This right here is...
You're going to get a clear look at it here. That left hand, yep, just grazed his eye. Wasn't a finger, it was a punch, but...
Man, that's a shame.
Oh, look at Randy, can't even open his eye. Now let's hope that he doesn't suffer permanent damage from this. You know, I mean, it's unfortunate the fight was stopped, but let's hope Randy's eye's okay.
Man, that's, you know, these things happen, man, and when they do, they just tear your heart out.
Okay. What a huge disappointment to train for months for this and to have it all be ended by a grazing punch.
And you know, it's especially for Randy and Vitor too. It's kind of an empty feeling.
There's no question, Ken. You know what? I sit here as a fan, as you are, a Hall of Famer and a fan as well,
yes.
and I've got an empty feeling in my heart. And as I said before, Vitor doesn't want it like this.
No,
you know this will happen again.
And you know, all the things that Vitor went through to get to this fight with his sister, and the things that Randy had to sacrifice with his kids and his family to get prepared for this fight. And then for this to happen, you know, for both of them, although it's a little more satisfying for Vitor with the things that he's been through, and the pressure has gone off of him now, but, you know, it's not a fulfilling feeling for him. And for Randy, definitely, he's going to leave with an empty heart, and it's just a shame. But, you know what, this is the things that happen.
Well, you know what, as you could see from the shot a moment ago, Vitor, this is not a man celebrating. And you know what, Vitor has a great belief in the man upstairs. He's got a great belief in God, and perhaps this is just the big man's way of saying, maybe, with everything going on in Vitor's mind and heart right now, maybe this fight just needs to happen another time. A corneal abrasion has stopped the fight. Vitor Belfort and Randy Couture. Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to a punch, there was a very dangerous cut on the lower eyelid that was torn into the eye. On the doctor's recommendation, referee Big John McCarthy has put a stop to this contest, declaring the winner and new UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, the Phenom, Vitor
Well, what was such a truly exciting and inspiring night ends in a bit of disbelief. A corneal abrasion. And you know what, Ken, you've been in plenty of these competitions. As the doctor examined the eye, if all of a sudden he can't see out of the left side, then he can't block a punch with his peripheral vision. You cannot put our competitors in danger.
Well, let me tell you, when I had a fight with Tito Ortiz, I had a cut over my eye, and that wasn't dangerous, but the blood running down into my eye, I couldn't see. So understand what's happening with Randy Couture with that cut in the eye. I mean, you're blinded on one side. You can't see him coming. That's very, very dangerous for a fighter. So, you know, they have to stop it. Unfortunately, it's not one of those things that you can just let go.
Yep, and the Dr. Goodman of the Nevada Athletic Commission doing a great job making a call, because heaven forbid something should ever happen in a derogatory or dangerous fashion to one of our fighters. This is a great competition. It's hand-to-hand combat, but at the very end, it is about the safety of our fighters, and it's a great decision that has been made. Joe Rogan with our new light heavyweight champion.
I'm here with the new light heavyweight champion, Vitor Belfort. Vitor, first of all, congratulations. Now, I know you didn't want to win that fight that way, and I know right now it's got to be very difficult for you to celebrate with all that's going on in your life.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank God, Jesus, who brought me here. All these things I went to my life, my personal life, the glory go all to Jesus. And I know it's kind of hard to celebrate. You know, it's a cut. Randy, it wasn't his fault and it wasn't my fault. It's happened, it's fighting. I feel so bad for winning the fight, that situation too, that happened. I know all the crowd, all the viewers didn't like the fight, but I was here prepared for the 5 rounds. I trained hard. You know I didn't expect to win that way. I love Randy. Randy is such a good fighter, such a good champion, and I feel bad just to this happened in the fight. I didn't want to hurt him and nobody. I just want to come here, do my best. But I want to thank all my trainers, Leonardo, my wife, Ulysses, my mom, my father, and I want to dedicate this fight for my sister and for my wife. I just got married, and I know it wasn't that way. I didn't want to win the fight that way.
Well, we know you didn't do it. It's not your purpose to do that, and just one of the things that happens when people fight. Congratulations, and look, there's always another rematch. You could always have an actual fight.
He deserves it. Randy's still a champion for me. He always will be a champion, and I didn't want to win the fight in this situation, but it's happened.
Things happen, and now you're the champion, so congratulations.
Thank you.
Back to you, Mike.
Well, thank you very much, Vitor Belfort. Obviously gracious in victory. An odd set of circumstances is Randy Couture with his wife of nearly, well, over 20 years, Tricia, going to get some medical attention to his eye. And as you said, and both Joe and Ken, we sure hope that there isn't a seriousness much more than just the stopping of a fight. And I say that with great relevance, just a fight. I mean, this is the man's eye. Let's hope everything medically works out just fine.
Well, as we said earlier, the main concern is the fighter, and when you have a damaged eye like that, that's something that could cost you your career if you continue to let it go. So first of all, you want to protect the fighters. As much as it hurts to see something like this go in that way, you have to protect them. And I'm sure Randy's got an empty feeling in his heart, and Vitor Belfort, as he just said in the ring, you know, Randy's still a champion in his heart, and hopefully we'll put that fight together again so these guys can go in there and settle it in the ring and not like that.
We will thank you for being a commentator, but I think you have something to do in June in the UFC, don't you?
Yeah, you know, I was inducted in the Hall of Fame, and I don't know, for some reason everybody thinks I'm retired, but, you know, I'm a Hall of Fame fighter. So I'll be back in June. I'll be fighting. They haven't set an opponent yet, and the venue hasn't been named yet, but I will be back.
All right, always a pleasure to see you, Ken. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ken Shamrock, UFC Hall of Famer, along with his greatest combatant, Royce Gracie, as we did that last show at the Mohegan Sun, celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the Ultimate Fighting Championship. Tonight, we celebrate the unexpected, if you will. As I said at the very top of the show, 2 men came in as long and nearly unchallenged champions, Randy the Natural Couture and Matt Hughes. The 2 men they fought tonight were fighters that we thought would be champions many months or years ago. And tonight, Vitor Belfort and BJ Penn both leave the Octagon with belts around their waist for the first time in their fighting careers. For more on the medical condition, at least what we know prematurely on Randy Couture, let's check back in with my partner, Joe Rogan.
Thanks, Mike. I'm here with Dr. Goodman. Dr. Goodman, please explain to us what the injury was to Randy's eye.
Randy damaged the lower eyelid, tore through the eyelid completely, exposing the eye. That will have to go to an operating room, and it'll have to be done as soon as possible, or the eye could be irreparably damaged.
Okay, well, you heard it here. Good stoppage. Thank you very much, and fighter safety is always our primary concern. Back to you, Mike.
Unfortunate, that is for certain. And you know what's most important? This is what's most important, that they find Vitor Belfort's sister and that Randy's eye is okay. Let's keep this all in perspective tonight. This is what life, not just the fight game, is all about. But in this game of life, BJ Penn became a champion this evening. It was a night with action-packed preliminary fights. It was a night with the ones that you saw here that were dynamic. It was a night a fight night, if you will, in which we announce that it is on. Tito Ortiz and Chuck the Iceman Liddell will fight forthcoming here at the Mandalay Bay on April 2nd in the next Ultimate Fighting Championship. Now, my partner Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. The competitive nature of these men, Vitor Belfort and Randy Couture, will tell you one thing, and that thing is that these two fighters will fight again. They will fight again, and they will fight again as soon as possible, and they should fight again. And as I bring back in Joe, you know, they should fight again, and there's no question that Vitor will welcome the challenge, and Randy, medically gifted, and we hope that he is, will be back to fight what we think will be a great matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. You could tell Vitor did not want to win that fight that way. He was very sorry and apologetic in his victory, and it's going to be pretty hard for him to celebrate. I mean, the guy's a warrior. He doesn't want to win to a cut, and Randy doesn't want to lose to a little cut. But unfortunately, that's part of the fight game. Things happen, and it's an unusual injury, and I'm sure Randy will be back, and I'm sure Vitor will welcome the challenge.
Earlier tonight, Jeff Curran made his UFC debut. He took on Matt the Terra Serra, the pride of Long Island, and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. And Curran, the big dog, really did a nice job against Matt Serra, surprising many of us, and Joe really neutralizing what is Serra's regular Jiu-Jitsu domination. Until the very end, when Serra would win by unanimous decision.
Jeff Curran showed good striking and good heart, but unfortunately, Matt Serra was a little bit too much for him in this fight.
And as we mentioned, Curran was a late opponent. He took this fight on 9 days' notice, and that in a definitive strength disadvantage worked against him. Serra was frustrated at times, but in all, he was victorious. Josh Thompson and Hermes Franca.
Josh Thompson showing excellent stand-up, and Hermes Franca showing a lot of heart, weathering the storm, and then in the late round, rocking Josh Thompson with a big right hand and almost taking him out. However, Josh Thompson went on to take a unanimous decision.
And so unanimous decisions in both of the early fights on the card here tonight. Georges St. Pierre against the Heat, Carl Parisian. Another one that would go the distance.
Carl came very close to catching him a couple times, but Georges St. Pierre was brutally strong and powered his way out of a few submissions and went on to win the decision with some excellent strikes from the top.
So Georges St. Pierre in his UFC debut impresses many by controlling the fight against the Heat, Carl Parisian, the judo and ground skills specialist, and he did it with a vibrance. He's got a large frame that will be very dangerous for his competitors to try to counter.
Absolutely. I'm sure we'll see both of these fighters back again. Carl, young guy, 21 years old, only going to get better from this loss.
So in the end, it is the young Canadian proving to be the most effective fighter.
There you see the near submission.
Yep.
Georges St. Pierre, very strong, powered his way out of it, and went on to pound out a unanimous decision.
Many made a statement here tonight, including Georges St. Pierre. Congratulations to those victorious here at the UFC. UFC 46 Supernatural is brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste, less filling. Miller Beer, good call. By Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. Elegance and excitement on the Las Vegas Strip. Brought to you by TDK Media Active. Publishers of UFC Tap Out 2 on the Xbox video game system from Microsoft. Now on sale. By Nitro, the official sports supplement of the UFC. Found at nitro.tv. And by Tap Out Clothing Wear at inyourface.com. Oh, and what a pleasure it is to welcome in Miller Lite as part of our UFC family. And we welcome in a new welterweight champion. His name is BJ Penn. Undoubtedly, BJ Penn gets our submission of the night.
Absolutely. BJ Penn taking out the most dominant champion ever in the welterweight division in the first round with a rear naked choke. Very much like the way Matt Hughes took out his last challenger, Frank Trigg. Dominated him, took his back, and I'm completely impressed with BJ Penn.
Submission of the night brought to you by TapOutInYourFace.com. Matt showed his back, BJ pounced on it.
Wow.
And with
Matt
that,
Hughes
the
tap.
changing of a guard. And Matt Hughes saying after, you know what, a great deal of pressure taken off. And for BJ, I think the same can now be said.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Matt Hughes has got, I mean, everyone was gunning for him. You know, and finally he's got a little relaxation. He can rest. He lost the title, go back and regroup. And now BJ Penn, the wild man from Hilo, is our new welterweight champion.
Knowing we had a duo of great championship matchups, I would guess you might have picked one, but would you have picked both of the big-time champions to be defeated tonight?
You know what? The fight with Randy and Vitor.
Hard to
I
tell,
mean, I
sure.
can't even.
Right.
You know, I can't even really call it a victory. It's a mistake. It's an
Because
accident.
it's not.
It's unfortunate. But I thought BJ Penn was going to give an excellent account of himself. But wow. You know, phenomenal. And hopefully we will see that rematch between Randy and Vitor and get to find out who the true victor in a complete contest will be.
Well, it is obvious that BJ Penn would be happy to give Matt Hughes a rematch, and I think down the road we will certainly see the real fight between Randy Couture and Vitor Belfort. And then add to that the light heavyweight picture continuing to become a bit more now in focus with Tito going to fight Chuck.
Yeah, absolutely. Finally, long time coming. April 2nd, Tito and Chuck will finally meet in the Octagon. Barring any unforsaken injuries, I might even start praying. Or how's it go?
That's pretty close.
I'll do whatever I got to do. Get them in there. It's going to be phenomenal.
Always a ton of fun, partner. Thank you very much.
Great to be with you.
Always a pleasure. Tickets on sale now for the aforementioned showdown in April. UFC 47, it's on. Live on pay-per-view. April 2nd, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific. This is becoming our home, at least for the beginning of this year.
What a great place to have for
It is
home.
a great place to have it. Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. For more information on UFC 46, tonight's event, UFC 47, and maybe Shamrock fighting at 48, your website of choice is UFC.tv. And we will also have medical updates on Randy Couture's eye as we get them at UFC.tv. And all, it was a night where new champions were awarded. We saw submissions, we saw new men come on the scene. Who thought that Lee Murray, the battling Brit, who loves to throw it, would win by submission? As he said, I am here to hit, and I am a hit. He called out Tito Ortiz. Tito's got somebody else on his mind first, obviously. Our executive producer, Stephen Tornabene. Eddie Bravo did a great job tonight, but we never got to the place where Eddie could help us score the fight. That will come. Bruce Connell, our producer. Anthony Giordano, our director. Many worked so hard to bring this great production, including Al Connell, our coordinating producer. The fights were electrifying. The end was disappointing, but these two will learn to fight another night. And although if you take anything from this evening, it is that little crazy Hawaiian is now at the top of the food chain. Vitor Belfort, it ended in a way that he did not see happening. Randy Couture definitely did not see this ending. We hope that Randy's vision is straight and that we can get the straight battle as it should be somewhere down the road. And all a wonderful night here at Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino. For everyone who makes the Ultimate Fighting Championship happen, Mike Goldberg saying enjoy your Super Bowl Sunday as we have hit Super Bowl Saturday for the first time. I have a feeling Saturday will soon be our day of choice. Congratulations to Belfort and Penn. This has been a Zuffa Sports production.